We are live. I'm on this mic this time. You guys talk so I can check if.
Hello.
Hello,
Okay,
I am
we're good.
speaking.
Hello.
We're good. So, we are playing the Electrum Archive. I don't know why there's a small. Oh, that's what's going on here. It is.
Oh, and then Spencer on Twitch. I think it's using a different mic.
Probably
Understand why webcams have mics. They're not good.
Yeah.
I vastly prefer it to having none, just from the amount of times that it's like, okay, if I'm at work and I do not have access to a laptop, there is no such thing. So the fact that normal computer monitors don't come with a mic and a webcam drives me nuts at this point.
Okay, I'm not using this mic anymore. I'm using this one.
Much better.
Okay, perfect. Let's do this. So, what is the Electrum Archive? It's an OSR feeling like science fantasy world. There's a handout that summarizes it called Orn is called the world. There's like 7 things you need to know, and frankly, only the first 3 are really the important things. Long ago, the people of Orn were brought here by a starfaring civilization of godlike creatures, whose names are now forgotten, are now called the Elders. No one knows much about them since eons ago their ships fell down from the heavens and buried themselves in the planet. So we were brought here by aliens who then crash landed. We're all human. There are also bug people, but the game doesn't explicitly say either way, but for now I'm going to say we cannot play as bug people. I'm sorry. We're human. Humans of all varieties, but humans abducted and brought here so long ago that it is considered our home. Gold and silver are so abundant in the soil of Orn that they are considered dirt and useless. Instead of this, the main currency are drops of elder ink, magical substance left behind by the elders, which is used for magic by inhaling it, allowing your mind to access the spirit dimension. And, power.
Not at all a scathing remark on paycheck to paycheck employment.
No.
Where you can literally, your money can literally evaporate.
But the new Funko Pop came out, Indigo.
I guess.
Damn it, my Funko Pops are too far away.
They're
all over there.
Your filter, we can't even see them through the Discord filter.
Are you keeping Funko Pops alive single-handedly?
No, I haven't bought Funko Pops in forever. Here, I'm going to turn off my thing. Whatever it's called.
Your camera filter?
Yes, thank you. None.
Okay, cameras are pretty small in the overlay we have right now, but either way.
Yeah. Yep.
I got a couple there.
Perfect.
And then I have more.
Oh dear.
Oh.
I suddenly see.
All right. So what trade is left between regions of Orn is facilitated by a handful of ancient merchant houses that fight a cutthroat war amongst themselves, desperately trying to regain their former glory. Bone spores are a fungal parasite that cause the collapse of most of the house's trade network and still ravage some parts of the spore wilds, but they're kept in check by a group of people. An expansive network of tunnels and caves known as the Sunless Princedoms hides beneath the planet. Here, the insect-like ear are locked in a cold war over control of their ancestral city. So those are the bug people. And the only other thing which doesn't feel really relevant is that a person known as the Twin-Souled Emperor claims that they are a spirit from the realm beyond, born into human flesh, and they rule from a city that you are not going to be starting in. So yeah, the first 4 things are really... There's ancient merchant houses. They're fighting amongst each other. There's Elder Ink. There's crashed ruins. It's sci fantasy. That is the world you find yourselves in. You have been. We will begin after we create characters. In the town known as Titan's Port, I believe it's called, or Titan Port. I should actually open this up to double check. I have my handouts, but no, it's not gonna open. Here we are. Yeah, Titan Port. Big city, in the middle of a literal desert of silver and gold. It's known. It's called that because there's a giant statue that no one knows much about of like a kneeling, crying person that's like 8 stories tall. It looks really weathered, but also no knife or weapon or anything seems to be able to damage it.
Sorry, what is the city called then?
Titan Port.
Titan Port. Okay, I can think of a couple more evocative words, but that is really interesting.
And within that city, you have been asked, as some adventurers. I believe there's actually a specific term for them in the book, but I'll call you adventurers for now. One of the districts of the city, the Hollows, someone is searching for able-bodied people for an urgent task. And once we create characters, we will see who answers the call. All you know before we create characters is that the person asking is known as Tarwin the Hunter, a member of the Embalmers, a faction known for, true to the name, performing last rites for the dying and the dead. The Embalmers they're known for vows of secrecy. Any like deathbed confessions are never revealed. And it's a common practice is for people to, on their deathbed, confess like sins, crimes, secrets, maybe other things that aren't, necessarily bad to them. They're known for never revealing those. But based in the halls of silence in this district, they're seeking a group of people to help them with some kind of urgent task. Let's see who answers the call. So, character creation. First thing we're going to do is random rolls. Before anything else, you're going to roll 1d4 for each of your 5 attributes in order. And then you're going to roll 2d4 to determine your starting hit points.
So start off with 4d4 and then see how it goes.
5 stats in total, I think. So do what you want to do. That's
All
quite
right.
good. So you have
Hey.
low body,
Oh boy.
a decent everything else, even better.
Oops. All right. Well, what are the stats? Like, what are those?
So
Yeah.
in order, they are
agility, archive, body, mask, and spirit.
So agility and body are what you expect. Archive is intelligence plus wisdom. Mask is charisma and stealth. Spirit is intuition and mental endurance.
Just checking, is there anywhere to reference this so we can drop it onto a character sheet?
There should be 3 character sheets currently in Roll20. Pick one and make sure.
There is no information in there.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm
The
trying
character
to
sheet,
ask
there
for
is no character sheet. Write it down in bio info. There is no like.
I'm using the attributes. I just literally just
do whatever you
5
want
of
as long
them
as it works for you. Write it down in a Word document
plus
if you need
HP.
to. There is no automated character sheet for this in this game.
No worries.
The Electrum Archive, I was given the first book for free at a convention last weekend, and it's a zine. And what we're running today will be a one-shot from the second zine that I bought digitally today. I like it, from what I've read. Let's see how it goes in play. And then, yes, roll 2d4 for your starting hit points, as Indigo was already done.
Oh, yeah, 2d4. Why, when I want to do a magic user,
you're
don't get
you're
magic
just
user
good
stats.
at buff wizard.
You get a second chance for more stats.
And also, as how do I put this? Because spellcasting costs money, non-casting stuff will be useful too as a wizard.
Okay.
And Marissa's just like, what? What HP?
Yeah.
Yes.
With the double 4s. All right, cool.
And now I'm looking at body. So I have double 4s on HP and absolutely no physical strength.
Yep.
Great.
You're just
Yep.
really
Yep.
weak, but hard to kill. Cool. Choose your background. So there's a separate handout with all the backgrounds listed from both the first and second books in one. So Archivist, Houseborn, Muscle, Nomad, Cultist, Performer, Scavenger, Worker, Assassin, Courtesan, Guild Artisan, or Pit Fighter. So 12 total backgrounds. The last 4, the right-hand column, are from the second book. The first 8 are from the base zine. So, yeah, each of them, as Indigo mentioned, gives you a few stat boosts. And also languages. Write that down. Trade tongue is common, effectively. If you take any other languages, which all of them have one of them, I can list them. One of them does. If any of you are interested in Nomad and a language of your choice, I can read you the languages. There's like 6 or 7 in total. Once I find them.
I'm trying to see what are talents.
Talents are. Let me check. I think are they a fixer thing? No, fixer of skills. Let me take a look at character creation.
Oh, your background grants talents and bonuses to your attributes. Okay, so page 12.
And that's page 12. I'll take a look at page 12 now. Here we go. Oh, it says page 18 for me. Okay.
Is there any limits for, yes, this stat can be really high or anything like that?
I don't think so. I don't see any limits to stats. Rolls on this game will be made with. There's a limit to HP. That's the only thing. Rolls in this game will be made with D10s.
It's 1d10 under the stat.
Yes. So I guess then probably 9 is the highest, I'm guessing.
Okay, I found where talents are.
Okay, I'm taking a look now.
So it's under the basics, with advantage and disadvantage. So talents grant advantage on relevant checks. Seer might even rule that a check succeeds automatically if a character is also carrying relevant equipment. Example, they have a healing talent and are using a healer's toolkit to treat a wound.
Okay, so talents are pretty simple. You get advantage when using that relevant talent. And advantage works as roll twice, take the better, which is lower result. How are we on choosing our background? Does anyone have any questions?
I'm an archivist.
Oh, I'm switching my background from being an archivist.
I'm an assassin.
Perfect.
I'm like, what are my good stats? Let's just put it in. Oh, wait.
Well, it makes my agility 4, archive 4, body 3. I feel like that's fightery.
Yeah.
I can't hide. I have no spirit. I have very little health.
Yeah. Languages. So, Archivist Lamaic script is a syllabic script used by scholars, artists, and the officials of the merchant houses, instructed to record text in multiple languages using the same script. So it's merchant records language that is primarily for writing things down. As an assassin, you have Rift Speak, a dialect originally used by ink seekers. I think, is that you? Maybe. And elder text scavengers from the Rift, but becoming more widespread among traveling mercenaries. So I will tell you a bit more about the Rift once I find it in here. But Mercy, you were also going to pick a different one?
Yeah, sorry, I was actually going off backstory here, so I'm trying frantically to rehash.
I will, for one of you from the Rift, or at least enough Rift Speak to probably know a bit about it. It's a large canyon filled with a bunch of buried ships and ink tech. I think Inkseeker might be the term for adventurer then. The Rift is an Inkseeker's paradise. It opened up and became accessible during the eruption of the Ember Mount, which was kind of like, the eruption of Red Mountain in Skyrim that is mentioned about the Morrowind region. It's that. It is like cataclysmic volcanic eruption, wiped out a big thing, changed the world, but apparently also made the Rift accessible. So, yeah. One of these groups found an object that replaced their blood with ink, turning them immortal. So that's cool. All right.
We're going scavenger in this turn.
Excellent. Okay. Next, choose your archetype. So that's your class. All three of them have their own semi-unique mechanics. They are the Fixer, similar to Rogue, Vagabond, similar to Warrior, and Warlock, similar to Wizard. I think we've already talked about these.
I know that I picked mine because other people hadn't chosen it, so if that is changing, let me know.
You're a Fixer then?
Yeah.
Okay. Indigo, you're going to be a Vagabond, and Jordan...
I'm a Vagabond. Jordan, I have grit.
You do have grit.
Yeah.
And Jordan,
I'm still going to be a Warlock, but I'm a Warlock Assassin.
Warlock Assassin's
pretty sweet. Warlock Assassin.
Yep.
Great.
Excellent. So you get some archetype features. So the Fixer has skills. Marissa, you will choose one among those to gain. And I recommend not just looking at the image. There is text on the handout for additional skills from the second book. So you can take a look from among both of those.
Look at the Fixer handout, pick one.
Look at the Fixer handout. Both the picture and the text are separate, parts of the list. All of them I think might have them. Warlock might not have that much.
Yeah.
Vagabond, same thing I think. At level 2 you start getting your choices. In this you just have grit and spend it to do specific things. Cool.
Warlock. Yeah, I just get 3 powers. It's great.
All right. As a Warlock, you start with an Inhaler, and you start with 1 spell name known.
Yay.
Make the roll. So
okay.
If I'll roll up. So, spells.
Start with the D4.
Yeah, start with the D4 to learn the... Yeah, it'll be a D4, and then it'll be 2D10, and if you roll a 4 on the D4, also a third D10. 2. So it is adjective noun. Yep. D8. Sorry, it's D8.
D8.
Yeah.
Right?
So roll a... Yeah, D8. It's 2 D8s in order.
Yep. Roll 2 D8.
For each word.
You're right. It is 2d8 per word. So
how does that
48? Roll 48, and we'll pair them up ourselves.
Okay, 48.
So 27 is the first one. 2.7 is for adjective, delicate, and then 6.1 for noun is pain.
Delicate pain.
That is an assassin move spell.
Delicate pain. What does that do?
Up to you. And you can use it in different ways every time.
I could use it in different ways every time. Got it.
So the way spellcasting works is you say what you want to do using the spell. I will tell you if it is a minor, moderate, major, or mythic effect. You will then roll for the spell cost. The roll will be different depending on how major the effect is, and that's how much it'll cost. If you roll more ink than you have, you take the remaining in HP damage.
Okay.
And I don't think there are bleeding out rules. No.
You just die.
That's not true. There are scar rules. You have a 1 in 5, or I think you roll like a d6, and on either just a 6 or either a 5 and a 6, you survive. So you're probably dead when you go down to 0. Cool. Next is equipment. So I don't think it gives you. It just says like you start with 1 common weapon and 1 toolkit of your choice, plus rations and torches. So toolkits are 1 handout, and weapons are another handout. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wait,
There's
where does it
6
say what you
toolkits
start with? Oh,
under character creation. So there's 6
one common
toolkits.
weapon, a toolkit, and rations torch.
Yep. So you have the toolkits are dungeoneering, scribing, navigation, cooking, disguise, healing. Pick one. They are actually variable costs slightly. The most expensive is 15. The cheapest is 8. But it just says you get one of them of your choice.
Just trying to figure out where we can see any of these.
That's here. Is it?
What is the name of the handout?
I just clicked show to players. It should have popped up in front of you. Did it work?
Toolkits, essentials, and transport.
Thank you.
So.
And no, it did not pop out in front of me.
Oh.
There we go.
So there's some examples of what it might have. Pick whichever one you feel fits best. You probably don't want to pick the same ones as each other. There will be like usage dots to keep in mind. Most of these will have 3 narrative uses. Not everything will use up a use, but if you want to like get advantage on use it and like get advantage on a roll, that might take up a use.
What should I grab? I have no idea.
Don't grab navigation. That's the only thing I'm going to say. This is a dungeon crawl. To spoil things a bit, this is a dungeon crawl that takes place within the city you're starting in. Okay. You don't need compasses or maps or a telescope.
I'm going to take a disguise kit.
Sweet.
I'm going to take a cooking kit.
Great.
What? I don't know what to get. Someone got dungeoneering.
No, that makes perfect sense. I'm not arguing. I'm grabbing dungeoneering already, and those 2 make sense.
The other one I was going to take was navigation, but then you're like, nope, we're doing a dungeon.
Yep, you're starting in front of the dungeon. After you're going to have a short conversation with the quest giver, and then they're going to give you direct directions to the dungeon. So you will probably actually start in front of the dungeon.
I'm going to get the scribing kit, and I'm going to make a map.
Sweet.
I'm trying to figure out what weapon I should take.
We're not high enough level for a gun.
One thing to note about this game, unfortunately, no. Yeah, no guns. Those are not common weapons.
It's a spore pistol, not a gun.
You should know 2 things about combat in this game. 3 things. 1, it is zone-based. 2, everything automatically hits, both you against them and them against you. 3, if you roll max damage, so smaller die is more common, you crit, ignoring armor, which is damage reduction. So keep all that in mind.
I assume speed is like, we don't roll initiative, it just depends on our weapon's speed when we go?
Yes. Depending if you're planning to use a weapon, that speed is your initiative. And I believe lower is worse, but I would have to be reminded of that.
Oh, I need a one-handed weapon because I'm a nerd.
You are a nerd. You can't hold 2 things.
Higher speed is better. As a vagabond, do you start with anything else? Do you start with armor or anything? I'm double checking.
No, that would be
too easy. Too easy. Yeah, I think you don't start with armor.
Okay. All right. I have an idea. I'm going to take a sling because I have my spell of delicate pain. Taking a sling.
Excellent.
Do we have to worry about cost in any of these cases? Do we have a set amount of money?
No, you do not. You will have to worry about cost after character creation.
I would like a glaive.
That would be perfect. Hold on.
I'm looking at an axe. Either axe or dagger. Dagger seems...
What does versatile do?
Yeah.
Versatile is the typical, like, you can wield in 1 or 2 hands.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I'm getting a spear. That looks great.
You know what? I'm gonna take an axe instead.
Okay, perfect.
Instead of a sling.
So we got a toolkit. What was the thing we
look
got
at the
aside
bonus
from the
for the.
toolkit?
Look at the sling speed.
Oh yeah, the sling speed is 9.
So it's,
You know
go
what?
first.
it's the fastest
go
weapon.
sling.
You're gonna go
You
for
go
sling.
you go first every time. Just every time, hit him with a rock. Just
Hit him
don't
with
even
a
think
spell, hit
about
him
it.
with a rock.
Yep.
Yeah, just keep going.
Perfect. So if you look at the equipment rules handout, which I clicked show to players, and hopefully it works this time.
It did.
Player characters have 10 item slots. 2 hand, 2 body, 6 backpack. Pretty straightforward. Items have most items, they will say otherwise, have 3 usage dots. So just put like 3 out of 3 or something like that next to each of them. You have everything obviously starts with max uses. If all dots are filled, then the item is either destroyed or depleted. Weapons and armor can be repaired though. After combat, your weapons and armor might mark a use. During exploration, and there are dungeon turns every 10 minutes, there is a chance that random encounters or torches can get used up during those turns. While you rest, you use rations. Every time you choose to use a toolkit, it'll give you a bonus to a roll, but you'll mark it off a use, etc. If you ever loot Elder Ink, 100 drops fits in 1 item slot. I also assume you all have a backpack, because it says you have 6 backpack slots, so you all get a free backpack.
Nice.
The last thing you start with are 2 things. One thing filled with another thing. You all start with 1 Electrum vial filled with a number of Elder Blood drops. Roll 2d8, double the result. That's your starting money.
/ spell slots.
/ mana. Do any of you guys have some sort of spells I can borrow? I need some.
All right.
Yeah.
Poppy needs a new pair of shoes. Yeah, 18.
4.
4. Double to 8.
Oh, sorry. Double to 8. Okay.
Oh, wait, you need... Oh, yeah, 4. I forgot. I didn't see you rolled the one above.
Also 8.
Oh.
All right.
Wait, Indigo rolled 2d4. It should be 2d8.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's 2d8.
Yeah. If it's worse, I swear to God. 7, 14. All right.
Okay, perfect. Then choose a name.
What? That's much too difficult, that one.
Yep. So I would say put some thought into how you look, pronouns, relationship with the other characters, etc., and how your background made you who you are. But it says you don't have to decide this right now. So it's up to you. Pick a pseudonym, pick like a code name, or just go around grunting at people until you decide to respond to something that someone calls you, and that's now your name.
I have a glaive and a bucket helm, and I don't think we need to ask any more questions.
Excellent.
Okay, so we can get a piece of non-weapons as well, I guess?
No, that's just narrative. I think that's just you're describing the appearance.
Yep.
Okay, so we have our 3 characters. I don't know if we're ready to actually describe what they look like, but the 3 of you, vague silhouettes as you are for now, show up in front of the, here we go. In front of the Halls of Silence, which is a dour, domed structure. As I mentioned, is the headquarters of the Embalmers. It's pretty unadorned, but relative to the rest of the Hollows, the district you're in, it's probably one of the best maintained buildings around. The Hollows is kind of like, it's simultaneously filled. The Titanport used to be a different city that was settled and then abandoned centuries ago and then rediscovered, and most of the ancient stuff from the first settlers seem to be discovered here. Dungeons, necropoli, is that the plural for necropolis? I'm gonna say yes.
Sure.
So there's all sorts of ancient ruins, especially easily found underneath this specific district. It's also the slums of the city. So the refuge for the shelter for the destitute and fugitives. So there's graffiti in words that your characters would recognize, but we might not. things are kind of generally in like ruins, pun not intended. Except this building is humble, but in decent repair. You enter it, and you probably the first thing that you smell is some kind of like scent in the air. I don't know if it's specifically incense, but probably something to keep everything smelling quite nice, because of how often they deal with bodies here.
I think that's just incense. Like that's
That might
what
just be
it's
incense,
for.
or it might just be like a weird, I don't know, type
Potpourri?
of incense
Like-
unique to the setting.
Potpourri.
Yeah.
Got it.
Sure.
Just like a little bowl sitting on the ledge.
Yep. And you see Tarwin the Hunter. Most of the people here, they kind of keep out of your way. They're known for keeping to themselves and for being sort of separate from most of society. Tarwin the Hunter, the one who you heard was looking for people, is the only well-known exception to that. They have contracted ink seekers and other mercenaries and adventurers in the past for various things that the embalmers needed. He's kind of become the de facto point of contact between the faction and sort of outside contractors. Because of that, he's probably talking to someone right now, saying like, in a quiet, like whispered conversation. You catch bits of it as you sort of politely approach and like wait for them to notice you. They say like, "No, we'll need." He like names someone like, "We'll need them to pick up after that and send my apologies." His sister as well. Let her know we're on it. He like sees you, gestures to them, clearly like, we'll continue this conversation later, and approaches you. As he approaches, the scent of like incense gets a bit stronger. Not with him specifically, but probably several of them wear it. Wear a similar scent just as part of their uniform. He says, "Thank you for coming. I think you, by the looks of you, heard about the problem I have." So, there's two of you, Marissa and Indigo. You can be here for any reason you want, whether you just need the money, since both of you rolled... Well, actually, no, Marissa rolled low. I don't know. But, Jordan, if I can interject a bit into your character, there is... it's up to you if you directly worked for them, but there...
Bless you.
Sorry.
But you have heard that one of the merchant houses here, they're not super powerful, but they were training up some assassins that have also gone missing a few months ago in this area. And now they probably point, like, the person... it's up to you if you directly work for the person who was training these assassins, or if you're just like if you're a coworker or something like that, or if you're just like, I don't know, here to assassinate the assassins, whatever it is.
You mean assassinate assassins? Is that what you mean? I probably just work with them. Like, I've heard like their assassin project didn't go well, so I'm here to like figure out what happened.
Perfect.
Kill anyone
Would a
that did
good
it.
assassin ever let anyone else know they're an assassin?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So, I'll give you a bit more details then. Tiram and Ellet, twin assassins from House Velm, were like teenagers being groomed to be the head assassins of this house when they vanished. And as difficult, like, usually when people vanish, they eventually turn up in this district. But these two are capable enough to not vanish under normal circumstances, haven't turned up in months, probably weeks actually. It wasn't that long ago. Haven't turned up in weeks. Now someone else has vanished. You're looking into it, I think, a bit to see, like, is this connected and how? You've heard rumors. I think you're probably looking for someone. There's rumors that they were probably kidnapped by someone. Yeah, that's probably all you'd know for sure. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And what's this guy's name that we're talking to again?
His name is, here we go.
Hunter?
Yeah, Tarwin the Hunter. I'll put that in chat.
Tarwin the Hunter.
So they... Yes.
Do I think he knows anything?
They, like, say, here we go.
Or is this his job just like a means to get more info?
This job is like a means to get more info. You're like, okay, you think that the trail probably led to this district, but it's brimming with, like, all sorts of crime and people, and it's hard to find one missing person among it. So this, like, oh, someone else has notably gone missing, might be related, might not be.
Might be related. Okay.
But Tarwin says one of our own people, another embalmer, his name is Kabaro. He was set out to perform rites at a nearby tomb, a Nolish tomb. Nolish is basically the term for the previous settlers of the city who then abandoned it.
The wolf people or the hyena people.
They were still human, I think. If the book isn't super clear, but I'm pretty sure they were still people. They were still human. He hasn't been heard from since. The tomb isn't considered safe enough to send another one of their own. Basically none of the embalmers are, like, combat trained. They usually, like, stay within their specific, like, places of dealing with, like, they're not fighters in any way. And they don't venture out to strange places most of the time. Even Tarwin, the exception, is more like, again, he hires other people to do it. He'll go out, but he still won't directly fight or put himself at risk. Tarwin says, like, you can go venture into... we were able to confirm that he went into the tomb. I can give you directions to the tomb. He ventured into there, hasn't been seen since. It's been 2 days.
Where was his buddy?
He didn't take one.
You always need a buddy. You need a buddy system.
Yeah, professional.
Stop
that! It's just a normal... No, it's just a normal inhaler. Just a normal inhaler.
Money every time you do that.
No, you see, there's a switch on it. There's a switch on it that goes from medicine to ink. You know, I do the... This is just actually an inhaler.
Tarwin says the
heart attack.
buddy system is nice on paper, but we're stretched too thin as it is to do it frequently. The tomb, this is not the first time we've ever ventured into the tomb. It used to be considered not safe, but
like you'd be fine with a buddy?
He's been fine without one before.
You've been into the tomb before.
Yes, not very far in. Only a couple rooms. There's an altar
what do I
short distance
know about the tomb?
What has stopped you from going further?
Have you explored any of these tombs before?
Yes.
Very well.
I've read a book about it.
All right. Both of you can make some knowledge checks if you want to.
So I also know history.
Perfect. Then you're going to have advantage on this. So you can roll a d10 and add the what did they call the intel? I know it's archive. Add so you roll a d10. If it's lower than your archive score, you succeed. Because you have a talent or history, you can roll 2d10 and keep the lowest.
What about a talent in traps?
Yes, if you're specifically trying to think about how dangerous the tombs are.
I mean, my question was specifically what stopped them from going further, so.
Your question was, I was asking if you would know them. Okay. So that's a success on Indigo. That didn't roll.
That's not a roll.
Only
giving
2.
up on trying to type things.
And a 5, what is your archive?
5.
Then I think that's a success still.
How are you smarter than me?
You both succeed. You're both the same amount of smartness.
I'm supposed to be the smart one. I rolled bad on everything.
The fighter?
How I'm pretending to be the nerd.
Yeah.
And everyone else is smarter than me.
Yep.
This is why we get upset when you just inhale the ink for fun.
Okay.
I have asthma.
So,
I have to do.
Marissa.
Only you think it helps.
Marissa, your character knows that the Nolish tombs are not typically like directly trapped. That does not mean they're not dangerous though. They're like sometimes strange like flora or fauna can inhabit them. It's been hundreds of years. Sometimes like if there's like a royal tomb or something, there's stories about it being trapped or guarded. An ordinary tomb won't be trapped intentionally is maybe the right way to put it. So like it shouldn't it if it's dangerous, it's not critically dangerous. What was your question exactly, Indigo? On your path,
just
like the
what do I
history
know
of it?
about?
Okay.
Yeah. Just like, do I know anything notable from history about these tombs?
Most of the tombs here, like there are merchant houses around nowadays still. They're clawing their way back up from like near, not quite apocalyptic, but like half an apocalypse from before with that volcano explosion.
Volcano recession. It's well documented.
Yes, volcanoes. Yeah. But there are many merchant houses over the past centuries that have not survived, and you've seen books about people who've managed to explore, probably making safe the tombs, and the tombs mostly seem to be for members of the old merchant houses. Occasionally there's actually one for an existing merchant house that'll be like, yes, we found like some of our like ancestral stuff. That'll be a big deal. They'll kind of take it over. But that's rare. Most of the time it's, oh, this is this merchant house that we've only seen in history books, or this one we've never heard of before. That kind of thing. They seem to be most commonly what you find in the tombs.
So great for stamp collectors.
They also tend to be filled with treasure, but you know.
Well, I mean, they have like weird old branding from old merchant houses. Like, you know, there's definitely seals and stuff. So yes, I almost certain one could be an adventurer for the stamps.
Yeah. Both of you probably know in different ways that the merchant houses don't, as I said, they don't actively try to use traps. They do sometimes have guardians, though. That
locks and skeletons.
Maybe.
Got it.
The exact type of it totally varies.
Is there a specific thing that is stopping people from going further? Are they getting to X room and then being like, nope, I'm out?
Part of it's respect.
Or is it just sort of...
The embalmers are not, they're the opposite of like grave robbers or explorers. They're like, we want to keep the dead and leave the dead in peace. The restless dead is totally a thing in this setting. Like, it's unclear if there are natural ghosts, but like the weird thing, interactions between inks and spirits can get weird. So keeping the dead at peace and is the embalmer's job. And Tarwin says, like, we try not to venture into such tombs unless absolutely necessary. We set up the altar, the closest place that still felt like it was within the tomb. Rites were performed to actually keep the people here at peace. Any tombs that we find, some of them, any tombs we're able to, even for the merchant houses that manage them, sometimes we will offer to go in and perform the rites on behalf of the passed away inhabitants of the tomb. It usually takes not more than a few hours.
Just like routine maintenance, and he didn't come back.
We see it as more important than that, but I suppose you can call it that, yes. We fear that the tomb's guardians or inhabitants or something might have caused something to happen. Maybe there's just a small cave-in and he's trapped, in which case maybe help him that way. We are not the right people to go in and help him either way.
That feels fair.
Oh, I should mention, of course, this isn't for free. We will be offering a reward of 60 drops of Elder Ink and our gratitude for
is that 60 per or
60 in total. I again, our resources are stretched thin. I think he like looks around and he gets a bit closer to the three of you, and he like drops the tone a bit and gets a bit more casual up front, and he says, if you should happen to find anything that the spirits do not seem to value, you don't have to mention bringing it with you. And he like backs up a bit and returns. He's like, he's giving you permission to take what's not nailed down, but he's definitely not allowed to say that, and is not, but yeah.
He's turning a blind eye. It's basically what he's gonna do.
Yep.
Okay.
He's like, we don't venture deeper into the tome. We won't know.
That feels reasonable.
Yeah.
As long as someone doesn't huff all of the money, we'll be fine.
I told you I have asthma. I need to do the huffing.
Sure, yeah.
Here are he like says, here are the instructions and directions to the tomb.
I don't have a high body. I have asthma.
Already been 2 days, so the sooner you can look into this, the better.
Well, I guess we'll start walking.
Yeah, head there.
Okay. It's not too far away. It's maybe like a 20-minute walk through the slums. Do you want to describe, introduce, talk about yourselves, talk to each other while you're on your way?
Sure. I did see that I would have to buy a helmet, so I guess it's just a very blocky wicker hat.
I was gonna say, it could be an actual bucket or something.
I'm thinking wicker helm.
Wait, I'm imagining the guy from that Rick and Morty episode, where they go to that like alternate future that's like Mad Maxy. Mad Max.
I like the idea of an actual bucket where, you know, somebody at one point did a spell that made just 2 eye holes and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah. I found it.
Yeah, it can't hold liquid anymore, so it's only useful as a helmet.
You're that guy.
I don't think I like whatever. Yeah, pretty much. That's the plan, except not buff.
Mm-hmm.
Not buff.
I work in a library.
Some vagabond. I love it.
I work in a library. That's the only equipment I have is like not a real helmet with like T-shape cut in it for vision and a glaive. And then I have a notebook. That's the bulk of what I bring to the party is a notebook. I am wearing, you know, essentially a look like a linen, like a white, off-white linen shirt, and brown pants and shoes with like a shawl deal. I don't know. I'm trying to think of Wasteland Librarian. You wouldn't get a full uniform.
Yeah.
But I do think you get the like the like a shawl of like a heavier fabric that just goes over the.
It's like a leather shawl.
Yeah, for library stuff. It's got pen pockets in it.
I mean, pockets is always important.
Pockets are always important. Yeah.
If you look on the inside, they do all come with a gun holster from a time
Before,
time
yeah.
From
Now,
the
do they
before
have book
times.
pockets? Pockets of the correct size to fit different books. Very important.
I think you have a backpack
librarians
for
in
that.
this. Yeah, I have a backpack for that. I also don't think you'd be allowed to take books out of the archive.
No,
Like, this seems like a time and place where removal of books is removal of fingers.
And there's probably not enough trees that books would be made out of regular paper very commonly.
They're made out of people.
Yeah,
Silver?
legitimately
Yeah.
vellum.
Probably
Probably
put things
vellum.
into silver pretty.
Probably, yeah, also like metal, like carved into metal tablets or
And I does
The
say there
holy
are.
plates.
No, wait, it's not even a joke, though. I'm pretty sure they are just engraved on Electrum plates.
Yeah. If
Is this
if
the one with
Electrum
the
is dirt, you can
Electrum?
make yeah.
Yeah, okay, it is just metal plates. No, I'm not carrying books with me. Under zero circumstances am I carrying metal plates.
Look, it's a way to increase your body. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right.
You
Doubles his
carry enough
armor when
weight.
that bullet comes towards you.
Yep. Okay.
Um,
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
you spent years of your life inscribing other people's tales on glimmering slabs of Electrum. Of the Electrum archive. Yeah, you're just we just carve stuff into metal plates.
Yeah, so the Electrum
worst
archive,
library ever.
to be clear, the Electrum archivists are a faction within this city. So you could be a current with a side job or former Electrum archivists. The titular.
I was forced to leave.
And you don't want to talk about it, or
apparently we do not need what is the style of comics that like the New Yorker does?
like comic strips?
Yeah.
No, but like the New Yorker like commentary ones too that don't always hit right.
Like political cartoons?
Yeah, apparently we don't need that carved into metal. It's apparently a giant waste of time.
There's actually an image of what the archivist robes look like, and I will put that in Discord for you to look at.
So, you have a halberd, right?
Yeah, basically.
Is your halberd just your Sunday funny that you made, and then you carved it into a halberd when you left?
I think I bought a real one after I was asked to leave to go on adventures. It still has the sticker on it. The guy hasn't really gone fighting.
Perfect. There we go. Yes, electric slabs. Electrum slabs are in the book.
Yeah, it's a shawl thing, and then I just have off-white linen shirt and brown pants under the shawl thing. I was right on one with the shawl thing. The no librarian.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wait. Interesting. Cool.
Do you want to go next, Marissa?
Sure. Why not?
What's your name? I was gonna say.
Oh, yeah.
It's Panucci.
I love it.
Panucci. All right.
I heard you have a great pizza place.
So Felix is the fixer. He has tended to be alone for a lot of the time. He kind of has spent a lot of time just wandering, trying to get money, bring it back, get more money. Hasn't spent a lot of time with people. He is wanting said money because he is funding one side of the Bug People Cold War, or at least donating to it.
Excellent.
He figures that they are right. Their rhetoric of "we have been wronged and deserve to actually have this."
Is there a bug person mission here that's gathering funds to retake their home city kind of thing?
I think it's somewhat secretive. It's not look, we're on the corner asking for money, but he gets the money paid for his job, and then it's head over to the secret missionary, hand off the funds, and then go off to the next job.
It's we're gathering money, but we can't let the other secret bug cults know that we're gathering money or they'll attack us. That's what they tell everyone. Perfect.
Nice.
I didn't realize war bonds were a thing in this setting.
I think it's less war bonds and more like little bug buskers, trying to get money.
Perfect.
I think they're
My bug people
people-sized.
They are
my bug
people-sized,
people are
yeah.
obviously in the right and deserve to have the city.
Okay.
Nice. So I guess the warlock. He's a robed, hooded, cloaked figure, and where the hand he holds in his hailer in, it's like I like to imagine it's a bunch of like I want to say like plastic tubes that lead to his backpack that the ink flows through, but he's like hunched over. He's not very fit, but for some reason he's very agile. Like he just sort of like flows around.
Yeah. Just kind of like
He's jittery.
you have no issue
He's just
keeping your
always a
balance
little
when
bit-
other people might have issues with that.
Yeah. Like people think he's floating, but he's really just walking. Like he just sort of
Love
like
it.
floats around with his little inhaler going, "Excuse me. I need more ink, please."
I could just, he's got the giant glasses
Like
that come out of the robe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's like I
Funny.
tried to look up the like cuz I don't know, in my head I imagine like from Warhammer 40K like the Mechanicus people, right? Like that is the image that burned in my head, but like make that dude a nerd, like a super nerd, more than they are.
More, yeah. Those guys were like
Nerd, Adeptus.
Okay, perfect. So the three of you find your way to the entrance to this tomb. It is, as most of the tombs in this district are, like you wouldn't know it unless you like it is just a hole in a corner down an alley that is completely it is even if you were looking specifically for it without the directions you were given, it probably would have been hard to notice and find. It's just so mundane, your eyes almost want to drift past it and not notice it. But inside, it's a sandstone building. There's like tall, dry wiregrass is what it's called. It's very like thin, but tufts of it.
So we're at the tomb.
You've arrived at the tomb. Yes, you've not been accosted on your way there.
Does the architectural makeup of the actual mausoleum match what they told us?
Yes, it does, and I will just give you that.
That felt like a not a roll one from the previous one, but also this feels like a time we could have been bait and switched with describe one tomb.
The like sign falls off after you enter that says like Tomb of Horrors or something.
Yeah,
I know sandstone. I know a different specifically sandstone dungeon. Pretty sure Tomb of Horrors is sandstone. Yeah.
They're all sandstone. That's the cheapest stone they find. Like,
apparently.
You're gonna build a dungeon out of marble. Do you know how much quarrying you would have to do to do a total marble dungeon? No, you need the cheap stuff. You gotta cobble the roads, do the whole thing.
Do the three of you
really just hoping it's a hard stone that you can smooth out for the actual like tunnels and structure, because you have to build it all from scratch. Like, you might as well just use plywood.
Yeah.
See, most people use the sandstone, and then the really fancy people get a transmutation wizard to transmute it into marble.
Who's got the drops for that, though?
I'm still waiting for someone to just build a tomb out of gold or silver, because why not? I mean, gold seems like a bad building material, but silver line walls, that sounds great.
But Electrum.
Yep.
I think the whole point is, what is a world where Electrum is
where gold and silver are dirt. Now you still have to do the thing to, smelt it, but yeah, the thing itself is extremely common.
World.
So
just cast iron tombs.
There might be some of those around, but this one is not one. Though again, what does sandstone mean in the world where sand is gold and silver?
Wait, the sand is gold and silver?
The sand is gold. You are in a desert of gold and silver specks. Grains.
Oh God, I'm learning a lot.
So the sandstone is actually made of gold and silver.
Yeah. So you got your Electrum, your Electrum sandstone.
So what? They just dig a tunnel and then blowtorch to fuse the walls?
Yes.
Maybe that's what they did. So, I presume you all enter down, proceed down the mundane yet ominous stairs.
Yeah,
I think
so
Felix...
torch and blood. I'm the fighter.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's dark, and you all start with torches, so you better start using them.
Yeah, torch in one hand, glaive pointed out in front of me, like tucked under my arm, very not helpfully.
All right.
I pick up a rock and put it in my sling and start swinging it menacingly.
Oh, do you have ammo as one of your body
Sling doesn't have
options?
ammo.
What?
Yeah.
Ammo tracking isn't a thing, as far as I'm aware, in this game.
No, so
is a
some
thing.
things have ammo, but the sling doesn't. So I think it's just
Oh,
assumed
okay.
you could just find
It's just,
stuff and put it
find
in your
rocks,
sling.
put it in the sling.
Oh, cool. Never mind. Normally, ammo is a thing.
Ammo's like a chest slot.
Ammo, okay. I see what you mean. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think Felix is going out second. He's used to being in this situation, so he's got the spear out, but at the same time, it's like, this is not the part at which point we need to be worried yet. Save your, anxiety for when we're actually faced with something.
Yeah. And then, was it I gas? Your last?
I gassed.
I gassed. Perfect.
Yeah.
Your last.
I find a perfect stone to put in my sling.
Yes.
And I just hold it in my sling.
One
And Halo,
stone.
on the other
He's
hand,
got one shot.
All right.
listen, they're everywhere, but I found the perfect one off the bat.
So, you go downstairs, and the first thing you notice as you proceed down, torch lit ahead of you, it immediately begins to feel quite damp as you go down. And once you proceed down the stairs, you immediately see why. The first room in this tomb seems to be a raised stone walkway in between two pools of water. They seem to be separate pools instead of joined underneath the walkway, because the left one is full, while the right one seems to be almost totally drained.
Does this match the description of what they told us before?
They didn't actually give you a description of what's inside. They just said that ahead, pretty soon in, there's going to be an altar, and that's where they go. It's specifically the same guy who disappeared as the guy who usually goes in here. The person who who gave you this quest, Tarwin, hasn't been in here himself.
Okay.
So there's a pool of water on each side. The leftmost one is probably about chest deep, assuming the bottom's the same height as the east one. The east one is drained down to only a finger's depth by an empty hole in it on the eastern wall. Here is what you see so far on the map. So the walkway proceeds forward, and there's a hole in the wall, down off the walkway, down a bit in the pool. The hole seems to continue onward straight to the wall. The three of you are in here. I don't think, because this is zone-based combat, I think we'll deal with tokens if we end up deciding we need tokens, but for now,
yeah, fair enough.
Decide what you do. You can just continue onwards. You can...
I would like to investigate the hole in the pool.
What does that look like?
I would like to first poke into the pool
as soon as you do that,
stick.
As soon as you do that, the water on both sides of the pool begins to ripple and move, rising up out of each side of the pool. All of the water in the shallow pool seems to basically completely gather together, and some of the water in the left side of the pool does the same. Two moving entities. They're not quite humanoid in shape, but they're clearly some kind of I don't think they have the word in this setting, but in a normal D&D thing, this would be some kind of elemental water spirit. Rises from the pool on each side.
Well, shoot.
Yep.
Y'all.
Are they seeming hostile?
There we go. No. Yes.
Yay, they're friends.
So they...
what do I know about I have a talent in culture.
Do you want to try and learn what you like? Figure out. Oh, this is a water spirit. What do I know about it?
Yeah.
Okay. So the spirits like the circles around you for a second and like it's inspecting you. It does seem like annoyed by your poking and like it's friendly for now, but it does want you to stop that.
Hey,
The water should
my
remain
glaive
undisturbed.
out of the water immediately.
Perfect. Roll under your archive with advantage to figure out what you know about this. I think this is culture. Yeah, if you're rolling with the talent of culture, you might not know much about the spirits directly, but you might know like their cultural role in the tomb rather than and roll again because you have advantage. All right, you don't know anything about these creatures.
Can I?
Does anyone know about liquid men?
Can I speak to them in Rift Speak? Do they speak Rift Speak?
You say something in Rift Speak then.
Yeah, I just go,
yeah.
hello.
Okay. They don't seem to respond to that. One of them who was circling around Indigo, your character. The other one sort of like floats over and sort of stands in front of the passageway forward. Seems to be blocking it. They're friendly for now, but they seem to be some kind of like they're acting as guardians, basically.
Can I rustle around in my backpack a little bit?
You can. Jordan, there are roles if you want to try and communicate them with anyways. There are roles for like communicating with someone when you don't know the language. Do you want to attempt to do that?
I would like to try that.
Okay. This is probably taking as long as Marissa, you're rummaging around the backpack while you do that. What are you looking for?
I wanted to pull out. We have rations, and I assume part of rations is water.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to pull out a water skin and kind of like checking to watch. Are you okay with it? Like give them an offering of water into their pool.
Okay. If you mark a use of your rations, I will actually let Jordan roll twice on the interpretation table and choose which result to take.
Oh, I have a talent in politics. Can I politic with these?
This is like
water elementals.
What do you want to say? What message do you want to try and get across to them?
I just want to try to get across like how do you wish for us to proceed? We're looking for
Okay, like
guy.
We mean no harm. Okay,
we're just looking for this guy.
Okay. So on the rollable tables, I am going to make the interpretation table public. If you go to the rollable tables tab, you should see it.
Yes.
Roll twice and pick which result you want. All right. Oh,
opposite of intent and received or an insult.
Those are the two worst ones.
What did you pantomime to the water elementals?
All right, perfect. They immediately swirl and start to get violent. I'm sorry, their initial reaction roll of friendly has been overridden now. They think you are tomb robbers and begin to attack. So, our first combat.
Because you mind grabbing a bag of money and sneaking away like a bandit.
Yeah, but then I went, no.
Yeah, they seem to not understand that the head shake means no.
They just caught the bandit sneak.
Yep. So they begin to act like aggressively and move towards you. You all have your you all get to at the start of each round make a speed roll. Everyone's default speed is 5, or if they're using a weapon and intend to use it that round, roll as that weapon's speed. If your roll is higher than your weapon speed, then here we go. If the roll is lower than weapon speed, because low is good, you act before the enemy. So if you succeed your roll, you act first. If you fail your roll, you act second. The enemy is always in the middle.
So it's a D10.
D10, roll under or equal to your speed.
Okay, I'm gonna use my sling, so I gotta roll under a 9.
Under a 9, you're probably fine to act. And then you guys can decide in your order. Whoever, like, out of those of you who win your speed rolls, you can decide like which of you want to act first. So Jordan, you're acting first. Marissa, that's a very low roll. I assume you're also going first.
I'm using my spear, and yes, it's definitely under a spear.
Indigo, that 9 was yours, so you're acting after they do, right?
I'm trying to decide if I want to spend grit.
Okay.
I do. It did not help.
All right.
Shoot.
How many? You started with 3 grit, I think, right? Or is it 2?
Nope. It's 2.
All right. Cool. So, Marissa and Jordan, which of you go first, and what do you do? So during your turn, so there's a few things going on here. You can choose. I'm going to draw out some zones. I'm going to actually I'm going to lower. Let's see. I'm going to increase the height of this page a bit and draw some stuff below it. I think just, there we go. Nope. Not 904. That's a bit much. 94 is plenty. And then that white space at the bottom of the map we can just draw in. So there are, and we're going to go with zones. There's going to be just, this whole room will be divided into 3 zones. Probably with a 4th one that's going to be the stairs here. So one will be the walkway in the middle. The right is a drained pool, and the left is a chest-deep pool. So it's not going to drown you if you fall in.
And the door we're looking to get through
the door is straight ahead past you. There's also a tunnel past there. We'll see if you decide to go into there. I presume all 3 of you are going to start in the middle zone because none of you are in the water. So,
probably.
And if you're within a zone, you can hit anyone else within the zone in melee. So you can, the water spirits, one of them I think is going to be in the right zone, and one of them will be in the zone with you. Yeah.
So the goal is just to make it out the back door, right?
Totally up to you. You don't know if they'll follow you or not.
Ah, shoot. All right. Well, it's not
my turn.
Well, we have to come back in anyway if we leave.
Yeah. That doesn't
not
necessarily...
if we're dead.
Not if we're dead.
So, Marissa and Jordan, which of you go first, and what do you want to do?
I am really curious to see your spell in action, and I think that there could be beautiful combos between. So I'm saying, please go first.
Yeah, I would like to do drugs.
Perfect.
Like, is that like an act? Like, what's the action?
It'll be
sort of?
Yeah. Your speed will be, if you're using a spell, since it's not a weapon, it doesn't have its own base speed. You will use the speed of 5 instead of. But you rolled with a speed of 9, and if you want to do drugs, since you rolled a 6, you will not go now. As your action. But if you want to use your sling, you will go now.
I'll use my sling. Let's see what happens with the sling.
Perfect. So you use your sling. Attacks are automatically hit, which means you hit. Which one of them are you aiming at? The one that's directly in front of you, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll double check. I don't think there's a penalty to attacking while in a zone. Nope. You can just hit them while they're in the same zone as you. Roll damage.
Okay, so it's just 1d4, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, d4.
Okay, perfect. So you deal 2 damage to it. As your as your sling bullet hits the water spirit, it's made of water. It does something, not as much as you might hope, though. But it does seem to, like, as the stone like splashes hard into the creature, it like ripples and loses a bit of its like form, so to speak. It does seem like it is working. Just, it'd do a lot better against a person of flesh and blood. You can, I believe, on your turn, combat round, you can move and perform an action like attacking. So you're currently in the middle zone. Do you want to do anything else? Do you want to move?
Yeah, I want to move this direction, whatever gets me away from them.
Okay. What does it look like?
So moving into the deep water?
No, this is to outside, right?
Yes, that's
like
outside. Back
the way we came.
Yeah, I'll remove this because actually we do just have the map itself to act as zones. It's very cleanly divided already. Okay, so you're on the stairs, basically looking down into the fight.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, Marissa.
I go, I have the high ground.
I would like to just settle my grip on my spear, both hands, and just charge forward at the one at the end here.
Okay.
And directly past it. After hitting it, hopefully.
Okay, you want to hit it and then
I'm
move
going
out.
past it one way or another.
Okay. I don't believe attacks of opportunity are a thing, so you can just hit it and get away. Here we go. If a character wants to move to another zone while an enemy occupies it, I'm wrong. I found it under disengaging on the right side of the combat handout, which I'll show to players in case you're not seeing it. So, Jordan, since you previously moved out of the zone and someone else was in it, please make an agility check. So D10 under your agility. If you you can decide if you don't want to risk it. You can decide to stay in the same zone if you want to. But if you take damage basically if you fail it. You succeed. Okay, so yeah, you're fine. Marissa, you're making an attack first, you said?
Yeah, let's start with the attack and then see what happens.
Deal your damage.
So I'm doing this two-handed, so D8.
Nice.
5.
Excellent. Okay. There's a big splash of water on the wall, almost like in the shape of like what would be a horrifying bloodstain if this was a person, but it's just water. The form is even more disrupted than before. And you keep running? I left the call by accident. Oh, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. I clicked the wrong button. That closed out the call. Is everything fine? Yes.
Let's check OBS and Twitch
I
and
am.
all of
We're
the
good.
above.
We're good.
Working.
Oops. Okay. I didn't know.
Twitch is still fine.
Yeah, we're good. Okay.
It is still alive, but I have the possibility of getting past it. Yes, I still do want to charge past it.
Make an agility check.
That was an agility roll.
D10.
So let's
under your agility. You're good. Okay. Yep. So I'll reveal more of the map. I think.
So just to be clear, when I'm moving during combat, I can move 2 zones instead of 1, and I want to.
Okay. Perfect. In that case, there's 2 zones, and then you get so up ahead. The hallway turns to a corner to the right, with some stairs. That is it up or down? It'll be down. It's a tomb. Stairs that lead downwards. I'll reveal this. So this is the first zone that you would move into. Did that hide this one you were in?
Yeah,
it hit the one we're in.
I don't want to just show. Okay, I don't know why that happened.
That works.
So that's the first zone, and then you move further ahead, and you sort of get to the entrance. You can actually see into the next area, but you're sort of on the top of the stairs themselves, still in this area.
Okay.
So
the entirety of those stairs is one zone?
Yeah, it's actually pretty long. The hallway to the stairs is one zone, and the stairs themselves are another zone. I'll actually reveal like you can see inside, you just aren't inside.
Got it.
So you actually see some kind of altar there. In the middle of combat, you won't see all the details, but there is a bunch of like clay idols around or on top of the altar, clay bowls, lumen pod husks. Lumen pod is like a common light producing plant that sort of acts like a glow torch or something. Like it does. Yeah.
Okay.
But these are just the husks of them.
Torches.
They're just the husks of them, unfortunately. There's like incense burners. One looks like knocked over. That's all you can see at a glance.
So I kind of charge forward, just run until I'm right around the corner, and then just kind of skid to a stop, turn around after briefly glimpsing the room, and just like keep peeking around the corner to see, okay, what's with the rest of all that going on?
Yeah, you guys okay? Okay, perfect. And then the water elementals are going to act. Water spirits. So,
just trying to get me killed in the first go.
Yep. They are going to Indigo. One of them is going to probably the one that hasn't been attacked as much, that didn't get. Nope, the one that did actually get damaged is twice is going to charge toward you and envelop you in itself. You have to hold your breath as you start as it fully envelops you. You don't start to drown yet because that's technically once you can't once you tried to breathe and can't.
Okay.
But you are now enveloped by it.
I don't like that.
While that happens, it also is going to slam against you as it hits you with 1d4 damage. 1 damage. The other one, meanwhile, the one that hasn't been damaged yet, is actually going to rush into the same area up the stairs. It seems like they can at least partly leave.
Okay, so you can do diagonal zone changing.
Oh, you're right. This one wasn't in the same zone. Okay.
No, the one that was uninjured moved into my zone and attacked me. The other one was already in that zone. The injured one.
Yeah.
The injured one
was in the center.
Attacked you.
Yes.
The injured one was the one that attacked you, though. So, yeah.
The injured one is the one that attacked you. The uninjured one. Let me quickly
move
check
one
combat.
Zone.
Yes, the injured one's going to go and attempt to chase after Marissa's character. You cannot double move in this unless there's something specific for it. So it's going to move into this hallway, but not be able to.
It has to disengage first.
It does.
Yeah, it needs to go first into the center zone because it's not like the second one was.
Yeah, I keep thinking in my head it is. Yeah. Yep. So it goes into the center zone with intent to chase.
All right.
But since it can't and has an action, sorry, Indigo, it's going to hit against you as it passes. 3 damage.
God, I don't have that many hit points, okay? I'm down to 1 hit point.
So,
my turn.
Yes, if you use your action, you can attempt to break free of the drowning with a successful body check.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna spend my grit.
Or you can try to hit it from
attack
from inside. Okay.
To take less damage. I take 0 damage from that.
Sweet.
Cool. Now I have 4 hit points. Cool. I'm still within striking distance of dead.
Yeah.
That was their turn. I am out of grit immediately. These stupid water monsters are too good. It's my natural enemy.
I mean, yes, that does make sense for. Oh wait, nope.
Metal library.
So.
Yes. From inside the one that's enveloping me, I would like to flail wildly with my glaive.
Okay.
Trying to attack the one that's enveloping you?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So you roll your damage. You hit it from within. 4 damage to it. All right. You disrupt it. It's like dripping water everywhere and barely keeping shape.
It's not dead yet?
It's not dead yet. And let me double check for combat. That's everyone who's gone, unless you want to take a movement, but you're kind of stuck. Combat. Do we re-roll? Start of each round. Yes. So everybody decide what you're doing, roughly. Are you using a weapon or not? That's all you need to decide. And roll for speed.
Yes, using a weapon. Yes, under my weapon speed.
Okay, so
I'm going to use
first.
magic.
Indigo's going first. That's a 5 then, if you're using magic.
Aha,
okay,
5.
Everyone goes first. So who wants to go first, and what do you do?
I would like to continue flailing.
Wait, I could probably help you with that.
But there's one that's not just dripping itself together.
There is one that is undamaged so far. Yes.
That is.
I vote for let's try and deal with the damaged one first, and then yeah.
But again, you can determine what you want to do with the spell, including affecting both of them if you want to.
Oh.
You want to cast the spell first, and then I'll kill the other one for sympathetic damage?
Sympathetic damage. No, I'll have you go first because my
No, but if you
idea.
cast the spell, there's delicate pain that's linked between both
I
of
was
them.
thinking of using delicate pain as like they take extra damage.
But remember, the GM sets like how much money that costs after you decide what the
Yes.
effect
If
is.
you look
So
at the
if you make
spell
an
name
AoE,
handout, it
it's gonna
actually
be bigger.
shows if you want to directly deal damage with a spell, the cost will be at least 2d6 drops doubled.
Right. Okay, so I don't have enough drops to do that. That's why I want to do like a spell that is like they take extra damage, but I'm not doing damage.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I know what you can do with that. If you roll to cast a spell, what you'll be able to do is, if you can if you can find a way to narratively justify this using your spell name, they have some like damage resistance due to being solid or due to not being solid creatures. You can temporarily negate that, and that I would think would be a minor effect.
Right. Okay, what's the name of my dumb spell?
Delicate
pain. Okay, I got it. So I want to use my spell in order
This will be on one of them.
to, yeah, on the not hurt one,
Okay.
in order to remove that resistance, and I'm using it as in like the pain is so delicate it gets through their defenses.
You're making them think that they've been hurt like they're a real person or something?
Yes.
Okay. So that'll cost 2d6 drops. Roll 2d6. As
right.
like if you're doing that, is commit your action, commit to this, roll 2d6 to see how many drops it takes. So roll low. 8. Slightly above average.
I have
Cool.
18 drops.
Perfect. Spend the drops.
That is
and then
all of my drops.
The creature seems to like shift, and yeah, it I think it gets more like gelatinous probably as you do that, and that'll be probably
Not
a continual
hardening into ice.
I don't think it's quite hardening into ice, but it definitely gets more congealed as this is affecting it, and I think that will probably affect it for the rest of the fight unless something changes. Excellent.
I go,
who goes
get
next,
him, guys.
And it's in, and yeah, they're both in this zone right now, the center one.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Oh, I would like to continue flailing my glaive around the inside.
Roll damage.
Before it drowns you.
Yeah, which I should double check. How does it drown you? Oh, that's fine. You'll get disadvantage on things, but disadvantage I don't think affects damage. It just affects skill checks. So it'll get disadvantage if you try to run away from them while already being drowned.
So because it's 2d4, does the fact that one of them crit make it a crit, or would you
2d4
have to
you have to roll max damage,
4?
so it's actually more difficult to crit with the 2 dice damage.
Okay.
However, that finally disperses it as you like do like a spinning like.
Nope.
What does it look
Too cool.
like? Too cool? Okay, you just like wave it around like, nah.
Get off of me.
Perfect. It dissipates into water, and now you're just wet, but it seems to be gone.
I'm just wet, just like slicking it off my arm.
And then there's just this one spirit left with that seems to be congealing. Do you move or anything? You will risk damage if you move.
No, I just like levy my spear up in front of it, or my glaive up in front of it.
Perfect. Marissa, what do you do?
Is there thrown? You still just hit it. It would just mean a matter of I have no weapon now. Congratulations. Would I have to like spend an action picking up the weapon again?
If you throw a weapon, yes, but if you can also move too, as you said.
I know. I'm just checking.
Yes, you would probably need to spend an action picking up the weapon again.
Or we just pick it up when they're dead.
All right. Well, I'm not quite going to risk that. So I'm going to, after having peeked my head out around the corner again, say, all right, it's time to go, and just turn around the corner and charge right back at the one that is congealed.
All right.
Straight, yelling the whole while. because that is
Excellent.
the appropriate.
Yes.
Appropriate adventurer technique.
Yep.
Screaming the whole time.
Han Solo with the gun.
Screaming would be in fear. This is yelling. This is a war charge.
So it's a war chant. Yeah, sorry.
Excellent. And I think that's everyone who's gone now?
Yep.
Perfect. So you have a spear, right, Marissa?
Yeah.
Okay, so you stab it into the creature, and it has like a blob for a head, like it's barely humanoid shaped, but you can see it. It's like just turns and looks at you, seemingly, despite the spell, very not bothered by the spear.
I figure it's like poking a fork into Jello, where you can see some fracture lines.
Yeah,
but that's about it.
Exactly. Now let me check for combat, because you might have an advantage here that I'm gonna double check now.
I mean, it's currently surrounded by 3 of us.
Sort of.
No, I'm on the stairs.
Yeah, you're on the stairs up.
2 of us.
Zones. Okay, there is no like range thing. There are no melee weapons can attack a zone over it. Cool. So you're in the same zone as it to attack. It's gonna strike back at you.
All right.
Dealing 4 damage as a blow that would have killed Indigo.
Yes, it would have killed me.
I think the thing is, it's now that it's more congealed, it feels like it's hitting harder as it just like the entirety of its body like rushes towards you and like knocks you onto the ground briefly before you get back up.
I'm picturing something vaguely in the shape of a wacky inflatable tube man, but like a smooth top.
Perfect. Like the head that turned towards you like turns into a giant like hammer or something, and then hits it.
That just like the pillar of water turns. There's no facial features.
Perfect. And then it just tips over on top of you. Yeah. Okay. That's the end of the round because they went last this time. Are you using a weapon, and if so, roll speed. Well, roll speed either way.
I'm using my thing.
Yes,
I'm gonna make a macro for that. I'm gonna make a macro for that at this point.
And 7 is still equal to the speed of the 7
speed / roll 1d10 greater than, and I'll do it in the background. Maybe while we're on a break, I'll finish the roll because we're about to go to break. So your weapon speed that's a success. You said, Marissa?
Yes, it's equal to. So
yeah, that's a success. And
then I'm using my sling. So
okay, so 9. Marissa and Jordan, who of you wants to go first?
I'm currently caught in the thing.
Yeah,
I'd love to be able to go first and just, we're not going to do flailing because the spear isn't so good at flailing.
You're not
but I'm going to just withdraw spear.
It is engulfing her. I should have clarified it. We got distracted by the comedic description of how it did that, but yes.
But yeah, I'm just going to pull spear out, re-stab. Repeat action, see if it does better.
Worked for the glaive. Roll damage. 5. With that, it dissipates thanks to the gelatinous thing. Like chunks of like metal, like it's like you literally added gelatin to water, so this clear jello like sprays out everywhere. Chunks of it on the wall. Panting, most of you probably. Everything is now quiet again, except for the occasional drip of like water dripping down off of the walls into the pools.
I walk back and pick up my dropped water canteen, replug it, stick it in my backpack.
You refill it?
No, not so much refill it.
I was gonna say, I'm not sure the water here is clean.
Water does not feel.
Yeah, I for research purposes, I am going to take out a little wax paper envelope and scrape some of the gelatinous.
That's fair. You do notice they weren't very clear before, but you do notice that there are some inscriptions on the 3 pillars in this room. Each I guess there's 6 pillars. So on each set of 3 pillars, there's some inscriptions that weren't super clearly noticeable before.
I also let my party members know that, hey, the altar room, that's just ahead. It's right
So
here.
They could have told us about.
Really did not explore this place at all.
Yeah, no, it was like stop at the first room that has more than water everywhere, and that's it. The inscriptions are not in a language any of you know. You can try to interpret them any way if you want to, but it's up to you.
Yeah, we'll do nerd time
last time.
Yeah, we'll do nerd time after the break. I think.
Yeah,
seems like
perfect. then we'll be back in a few minutes with part 2 of the Electrum Archive. You beat your first combat, and none of you died, despite your best attempts.
I got down to 1 hit point and saved myself.
And then,
but
grit is real useful.
I'm out of it. There's no more grit.
Figure out how to get more. You can just go and long rest somewhere.
It's a short rest. I could just
perfect.
I could just eat a sandwich.
Yeah.
It'd be fine.
Perfect.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
We'll be back in a few minutes. How do I do this? I have a thing here. Here we go. Welcome back, us, and hopefully you, with part 2 of the Electrum Archive, a maybe one-shot, maybe more. So you just, dispersed some water spirits in this tomb, and discovered...
I was gonna say, it feels kind of rude. We did just go into their first, the room, and say hi.
You poked them. They said...
I poked them. They said hello, and then the wizard boy
accidentally told them they're going to steal all their stuff.
Yeah.
You basically mugged the water spirits.
We mugged them.
Hopefully there's no child water spirit who grows up to, declare war on crime.
If you started child
water spirit that has Batman ears.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only defining feature, is just the 2 little points.
Yep.
Otherwise it's indistinguishable.
Yep. Perfect. A water spirit needs bat shark repellent anyways.
Yeah.
So
got a bat credit card.
Question: the hole here looks huge. Before I was thinking it's this big.
That's what I was thinking too.
How big is said hole?
It is. Do you go up and inspect it? It is clearly big enough that you can fit through.
I mean, we were not inspecting it before, but we tried. We could fit through it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like single file, crouching down and probably crawling, but you can fit through it. You could a head can easily fit through it.
I would advise against that because the water spirits came out. I'd rather not fight a water spirit while on your hands and knees.
I agree, and as I said, the next thing is in a room right there. But before we trigger whatever guardian is in that room, do we maybe want to do some resting? I say, looking at where the spirit or whatnot.
We should totally rest. We don't really need to. We can rest. What does resting cost us?
How does resting work?
How does resting work? Harm and healing. That probably has resting in it. Rest and healing. Characters can take some time to tend to their wounds. A short rest takes a turn. This will be the first dungeon turn. Turns only go when you explore, which I'll tell you when something you're trying to figure out about the dungeon would take a turn to find out or uncover, or when you short rest. So the way that it works, you take a turn. If you mark a use on your ration, you heal 2 hit points. If you want to, you can also make a successful archive check to tend to wounds, your own or someone else's, to restore 1d6 hit points. You can do both. You can do one or the other. You can do, etc. Any character, you can only tend one person's wounds at a time. So you can all tend to the same person. You could each tend to your own, etc.
What is the negative of wasting time?
Every turn, which is always roughly 10 minutes, I will roll a die. And you may lose resources, you may have things find you within the dungeon. Nothing may happen at all. But light from your torches may go down, etc.
I don't think I took any damage that fight, so I'm here to heal you.
I'm at 4 HP out of 8, which I'm pretty sure is still pretty good comparatively.
I'm at 4 out of 5.
So you're missing total 5 HP. Do you want to short rest or do you want to wait?
It might make more sense to wait in this case, but the big question is, if we go down, how permanent is this?
Let's look at the same handout, harm and healing. If a character's HP becomes 0 or lower, they are on death's door and must roll a d6. On a 1 to 3, they die. On a 4 or above, they fall unconscious and are dying. Within 10 minutes, if they're not treated by another character, within a turn, if they're not treated by another character, they die. If they survive, they wake up with 1 HP and gain a scar. So you actually have a 50% chance of dying. Except that one of those scars gives you a buff. Most of them give you a penalty, and I think one of them might kill. 2 of them have a chance of killing you anyways. So that's fun. So you only have a 50% chance of dying.
I think we should do a short rest. Because I'll also get my grit back. We can heal your hit points.
Yeah.
That's 1 turn. I think we should then take a turn actually investigating this room.
Yeah.
That we've cleared out to like the room.
I will tell you, it won't actually take a turn to investigate the room.
Then it's even better.
I'm wrong. So none of you know the language for the inscription. If you want to, you can spend a turn trying to decipher it and doing your best attempt at it, which would be a turn and a roll. That's the only thing that would take a turn, is trying to figure out what the inscription on the pillars say.
I don't think that the pillar inscription is that important. I'd say push on.
Okay, so
the pillar inscription is not loot.
We'll take the rest turn.
Okay, so everyone heal 2 HP if you spend a ration. You can decide to do that. You can decide to do that after you roll hit points to treat hit points, so you can wait.
Okay.
So can I treat other people's hit points?
You can totally treat another person's hit points. It'll restore 1d6 on a successful archive check. If anyone has medkit, you can spend a use to get advantage to the roll to make it more likely to succeed.
I have 2 in archive, so I don't think that's going to be very helpful.
I will attempt to...
I don't think there's a downside to trying, though.
There's not. Should I just attempt to bandage my own wounds and down 1 hit point?
You totally can. There's no, as far as I can tell, there's no penalty to do that.
We're going to start with the rogue, or the fixer, because you're down 4 hit points.
Yeah,
We'll do it that way.
Okay, so
I fail.
You fail.
I will try for myself as well. 1d10.
You succeed. I assume that two is hard to fail.
And then it's 1d6 to see how much.
1d6, how many hit points? Yes. 2 hit points back. If you want to, you can just eat a ration to get the remaining 2 back to full.
My rations are already 1 short, but this still seems like an effective thing. Can we eat other people's rations if needed?
I could try and heal you or Indigo. If you want me to try heal you, and then if that doesn't work, you both just eat a ration anyway.
Yeah.
I think you should try and heal, or take your pick on who you want to heal there.
You're both down 2?
I'm down 1. Indigo's down 2. 1.
Yep. You're both down 1. Okay.
Or I'm down 2, but...
I'd probably try to heal Marissa then.
Yeah, I'll try.
I try and heal Indigo because the rations are gonna fix it if I don't need.
Sure, I'll try healing Indigo. So I need a 1 or a 2. I heal you.
You heal you. Roll 1d6. Well, it doesn't matter because you're only missing 1 hit point.
Oh, that's a good point. I'm full. I'm totally healed.
Okay.
And I will eat a ration so that I am full as well.
Okay, you're back to fresh and new, I think. Grit's restored.
I guess I'm restored enough to stick my head in the hole.
About that, let me see if anything happens while you rest. Nothing happens.
All right. Nope. Shush. I get grit back. That's what happens.
Yep.
Grit's important, because if there's a monster in this hole, I need it to survive. I like to stick my head in the hole.
Okay, so you actually, I'll reveal slightly more of it because the tunnel curves slightly. So I will quickly check. It curves kind of like this. From where you're standing, you can't see what's past it. If you want to go into the tunnel, you can see further.
With my head still in the hole, I would like to yell back out to the fixer to ask them to describe the orientation of the room that he saw when he went further down, and would the tunnel possibly connect?
I basically described, it was straight ahead, then it turned right. I think I saw a couple of 3 different doorways coming out from every different direction, but I was kind of focused on the fight. So yeah, it's entirely possible the tunnel goes there. But it wouldn't really make sense that the tunnel was leading to the specific doorway in that direction, because why would you tunnel to a doorway?
About that. So now that you're sticking your head in, you can see clearly tooth and paw marks are visible all over the tunnel. This was not dug by people. This was dug by some kind of animal.
Not a people tunnel.
If it's not a people tunnel, let's explore on our way out because we want people money.
That's a good point. We are looking for people. All right, I'll pull my head out of the tunnel.
Perfect.
And I gesture forward.
Okay. So you all travel, walk into this alcove.
Oh, we do no such thing. We stop at
You stop at the top of the stairs and carefully look around.
We do not
grab a rock.
Don't shove us into rooms.
Perfect.
Unannounced.
Cool. I will ask what you do, but yeah. So the wall, rounded as they are, the wall of this room is filled with sort of hexagonal alcoves with interred remains, like in the walls. The alcoves themselves not that way. The east and west walls seem to have been excavated into tunnels. Nope, wait, that's not right. I'm reading the wrong area. There's no hexagonal corpses here. So
there's an altar with knickknacks.
There's an altar in the middle.
I remember.
Clay graven idols, ash-covered clay bowls, and lumen pod husks surround the altar. Lying on a tattered woven mat is a smashed Electrum incense burner. As you peer into the room, you can actually see up the short stairs there. You can see into the room partly. It looks I'm not going to reveal the map quite yet, but you can see into it, and part of it, it's small. The room is small and square, and there seems to be some kind of like statue or figure that you can see like poking up over the edge of the stairs, not like looking at you, but like deeper into the room that your line of sight is showing it to you. There's some kind of like statue in the far room this direction.
In this direction, sorry.
Straight ahead across the room.
Okay.
There's you don't see the room clearly, but you can see there's some kind of statue there in the center of the small square room up those small bit of stairs.
Anyone have a spare incense burner to set up to appease, the restless dead?
We could just use that one. I point to the one on the floor with the glaive and not enter the room.
Yeah, you're close enough as you're pointing at it that the incense burner was knocked over. The incense in it is fresh and unburnt. The surrounding bowls with ash in them are filled with burnt incense sticks. I assume you're all. That's all you see as you're looking. It was smashed. It looks like it was knocked over. It might be damaged. You can't tell without getting a closer look at it. And you're all like looking at it from 10 feet away.
Yeah. Do we see anything dangerous in this room before we?
I'm going to stealth into the room.
Okay, I will ask for a masks check if I ever need one.
I have talent in stealth.
Perfect. I'll ask a roll if it matters, basically.
Okay.
There we go.
If we're doing stealth, I'll join you with the stealthing.
You're both sneaking in?
Sure.
Okay. So you're taking a look around the room. You're sneaking in. You see a few things. Are either of you bringing light, or do you take Indigo's torch?
No, I have a torch at the stairwell.
Okay, so you cannot see the other rooms beyond what I showed you. Like the statue itself in the distance glints a bit, but that's it. So you don't really get a clear view. There's too much darkness, and unfortunately, dark vision is not a thing. Maybe the bug people have it. I assume they do since they live underground. But you do spot, as you get closer, the incense burner seems to be stained with a blood splatter. In fact, there's a few different blood splatters, a trail leading to the north.
That seems to be a good way to go, but first, I head back to our warrior there and ask, do you have a cooking pot so we can replace this incense burner?
No, I remember I took my writing stuff instead.
Oh, okay.
You convinced me. No, we'll be fine with jerky, and I said, okay, I'll grab the writing stuff.
As I mentioned, there's also several like clay idols on the altar.
Yeah, do I know
Do
anything
they?
about those? They just look like grave idols. They're not anything.
Make a archive check. All
Nope.
right. So, Marissa, you were going
I
to say
make them
something before I give
kiss.
you an answer. Marissa, you were saying something too?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't that I know
So
of.
none of them, like, you don't know really what they're for. You do still notice that one of them, most of the idols look like they might have been placed here by the embalmers, in sort of an attempt to imitate some of the art style around the tomb itself. Like that, sometimes they'll try to like appease the culture by trying to follow their practices or some of their traditions. One of the idols, even with a failed check, you notice one of the idols looks far older and like crafted with more refined techniques and craftsmanship and has a lot more detail in it than any of the others. And that is in the shape of a beetle. There's like a clay beetle idol that's like probably the size of your palm.
As I look at the blood, can I tell how old it is? Is it a matter of, oh, there is more blood here than a person can lose before not being
Luckily,
alive?
it looks like it's enough blood. It's like a noticeable amount of blood from some kind of injury. It's not a lethal amount of blood. It's probably about like I think with what was your background again?
Scavenger.
Yeah, you would
I
know at least like this is a couple days old. Like it's not you can't place the exact time, but it's within it's newer than a week, older than a day.
We're not on a speed time limit then from this.
You were told
I let
that
the
the
others
guy
know very
has
quietly.
been missing for 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, so the blood is older than a week
No, it's
or not?
newer than a week, older than a
Newer
day.
than a week, older than a day.
It's our
Okay, got
guy's
it.
blood. He.
Okay.
Yep,
All
and
right.
it led to the
Well, I guess
north.
we should.
Meaning, if we're looking for him, probably that way.
Yep, and
But
you
stealth
can see
might be a
glints
good
of a
idea.
small room here. You can't see the room to the south yet.
Can I light a torch and just chuck it into the room to the south?
If you want to
Like,
spend a use, yeah, you can
yeah,
reveal
I
what's in there without
just
going
like
in,
while I'm right here, I'm just gonna light a torch, chuck it, and then go back around the corner.
and then like peek. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, if you're peeking around the corner without seeing much, you see this much of it, but that's still something. Um, so this you see on the far end of the wall, especially, are the hexagonal alcoves with dead interred within them. You see a bit of water, which probably spilled from the tunnel on the left, with the drained pool. Hopefully, no water element spirits here, but if there is, maybe they won't awaken if you don't touch the water, since that seemed to do it before. You can't see any more without going into the room.
Okay.
I ask Indigo to light the incense and then stick my head
Yeah.
down here.
Using the torch and the cracked incense bowl. I guess it needed even more like a nice bowl for
Yeah,
the incense to
yeah.
burn. I just like light it and just like use my torch to spark up the incense.
Okay, perfect. If you are fully entering the room, Indigo, there's enough like dim light that this small room you can see enough of Marissa. Inside this room, the center
The one
of
to the
it,
south?
the one to the one to the south is the one Jordan's looking into. Marissa,
Okay.
you were going into the east room, right?
I'm not going in, but yes, I'm standing
You're
here and looking
standing
forward.
at the edge and looking at it. Cool. There's some kind of like figure. The dim light doesn't tell you. It looks like it comes some kind of statue, but you can't see it clearly in the dim light. But it's sort of
So the
like
statue we've already kind of seen.
yeah, it's in a kneeling position. Not really kneeling. It's like it's standing on its feet, but has lowered its body and is like sitting with its knees up against its chest.
Does it remind us of like the statue that tightens the big statue outside there?
Somewhat. This one doesn't seem to be crying, while the other one is. This one has its arms clasped and around its knees and a bit and lower, like near the ground. You don't. The light is too dim for you to see too much clearly. Something's glinting about it though, like there's something shiny on it as well. You also hear, as soon as you like get up there and like are at the edge of the stairs, you hear a voice, a female sounding like echoing voice coming from somewhere in the room, that says something in a language you don't understand. It says like a sentence.
I quietly call the others over and say, guys, there's someone talking from this room.
Do I know the language? I wouldn't. I speak library code or whatever.
Yeah, the big thing is you can write down what she's saying just fine. You just won't know what it is because you can write down any sounding syllable, and then take it somewhere else to get them to decipher it.
I assume it's not Rift Speak either.
It's not Rift Speak.
Yeah.
It's never Rift Speak.
So Rift Speak is a relatively new language. That's the problem.
Oh, okay, got it.
It's never Rift Speak.
So if you want to, you can totally try to like listen to the thing and use an interpretation roll. In this case, it's you listening to what is said. I will make the roll privately, and we'll see what you hear.
I do not want to listen to random people talking. That is a no, and something glinting and shiny is not money in this world. Therefore, I'm very much do not want to go that direction. It hasn't shown me anything that says this is worth stuff.
So we should sneak northwards.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all like take a look at it, hear a strange voice, and are like, nope, and turn around.
Nope. Go north.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yep.
Heading north.
Follow precisely in the blood trail so that if any are traps.
Yes.
Well, there's a body that was dragged here earlier.
There is. Yeah. Yep, that's true. Hopefully nothing's trapped. North, you carefully peek around the room. There we go. So, actually, hold on. You also can obviously see the area in between it. So the room is filled with more alcoves, filled with like bodies, interred remains that have been carefully placed, all like inside the walls. There are like you can access them if you want to. There's a lot of them. Just a sec. Yeah. There's a door off to the east. The inside of the room itself looks relatively empty. The blood trail like isn't as clear here as it goes on. There's less and less blood. There's literally only one way that it could go though, and I think you can see it like it does lead this way, but it'll probably taper off relatively soon.
Is there anything interesting in this room? Like,
do you want to start?
Check the bodies?
You can. It will take one turn per side of the wall that you are searching, of which you can search all four sides, not just the ones that don't have a hallway.
Got it.
So if you want to start searching for stuff, you totally can.
Deal with it after we find the person, because if we find the person, we'll ostensibly have a little bit more information to go off of.
That's true.
Yeah, but there might be stuff here you can search for if you want to spend time like checking the dozens and dozens of bodies.
Mm-hmm. We do that on our way out.
Okay, perfect. So what, like...
There's lives at stake.
Okay, and you're carefully like peeking forward and everything like that?
Yeah, we're not jumping into the next room.
Yep.
We're doing our best version of sneaking.
Yeah.
Cool. Can everyone please give me a check? Let me go to character creation.
Mask.
If we're looking at sneaking, yeah, charisma and stealth.
Actually, I'm going to ask for
Move
an
stealthily.
archive check.
Oh,
Oh,
is this a
good.
stealth roll though?
No. This is a
What is
perception
ink
roll.
tech, by the way?
Things like magic devices, golems, all sorts of things that use ink as fuel.
Okay, so we're doing archive?
Archive check.
Success.
Perfect.
Would this have anything to do with poisons or politics?
Not quite. Marissa, you spot it first and stop the others from stepping over the tripwire that lies just across the door here.
So what you're saying is I absolutely could have used traps.
Yes, but you already succeeded.
Can I use traps to disarm this tripwire without tripping it?
Once you see it, you don't even need to. You can just cut it. It's like generally for tripwires, if you can see it, you can just cut it and it's fine.
Okay, let's do that with the knowledge of there's going to be more tripwires going forward, even slower as we go down this corridor.
Stingray shuffle, y'all. Don't pick your feet up.
So, you spot the tripwire. You look carefully inside. It looks like it's been set up like much more recently than the others and much more casually. This is not an ancient trap. This is attached to a bell that's been placed above and some kind of rusty spike that's been like very makeshift, like placed in a makeshift fashion above the door to hit anyone who comes through and trips the wire. Neither are, a risk anymore as you cut the wire. The room itself inside seems to be still empty of people, but filled with other things. So, several tall glass vats filled with murky yellow liquid are placed all across the room. One of them here seems to be shattered and fill the room with an ammonia-like odor as the yellow fluid spills across the floor. You have a picture that I will show you.
It's even worse. I don't need a picture.
Take the picture.
Horrific.
There was people in these, wasn't there?
Inside, even from here as you peer inside, it's pretty easy to see. It's not clear if it's people. Various limbs of various shapes, sizes, and with amounts of tumors seem to be growing or resting of some kind within the vats.
This is horrifying.
Yep. Yes, it is.
Do we know which way to get out of this room as expediently as possible, please?
There's a door north that seems to be closed. There's a door south. And with the fluid on the ground and everything, the trail appears to have gone not cold, but you don't have a trail actively anymore.
Can we track by if the blood is not there? Was there like footprints or dragging in the dust?
So
like if this
I'm just gonna check your intent. Well, this was again the blood is days old, but your intent when looking around the room is to find a trail to get out of there as quickly as possible. You're not really looking around the room for other things. Is that true?
I'm gonna look around the room.
Okay.
I am looking specifically to figure out what direction this person went. I mean, if they're losing that much blood, they can't be picking up their feet lightly and being very careful not to leave a trail. So I'm just wanting to know, where did they go?
Can both of you make... actually, I don't think... Marissa, please make an archive check to see what you can pick up. I don't think, Jordan, anything that you're going to find will be hard to notice, so you'll get stuff either way. Indigo, what are you doing during this?
Failure for me.
Okay. You can't find a trail, it's obvious. It seems like if there was one, the fluid spilled afterwards and covered it up.
Yeah. Well, we got the creepy asthma boy trying to figure out what the room does.
Yeah. I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm looking out for monsters.
Perfect. Okay.
Or doing a history check on arms. but that doesn't
Which
I
seem
think
one?
super
looking
helpful.
out for monsters feels like a good place to be
I'm
going.
gonna look out
It's been
for
a lesson
monsters.
learned.
I'm
Okay.
specifically looking out for arms. 'Cause
Perfect.
there's a
You
broken
find
tube.
one. So, two things happen. One, Jordan, you see on top of one of the vats, you see seems to be placed like it's tall, but you can reach it once you spot it. Once you have the time, there's a book that seems to be like not a metal Electrum plate, a book placed on there. That seems probably vellum. On top of one of the vats, roughly about the same time. Indigo, you see that sort of like shifting and crawling out from among the shattered remains of the broken vat seems to be an arm.
Like the arm is moving?
The arm crawls itself up to you, Indigo, and
I would like to stab it.
You the arm was friendly, but then you stab it. Okay, perfect.
I stab at thee.
It only had 4 hit points, so what do you do to it?
I cut it in half. Just
hang on.
break it
Attacks of disadvantage. So you're going to roll twice and take the lower damage. It's too small. Okay, you kill
it. Cut it in half.
Perfect.
Hot dog style.
Stops moving.
Hot dog style.
Excellent.
Watch out for arms. They're crawling.
I found the book here. I think we have. What are you with the librarian? I don't know.
As you look at the desiccated remains of this arm, you realize that it had extra fingers grown along the length of the arm. And
it was like a centipede.
It was weird. It was super gross. And most of these look like they're varyingly mutated.
What does the book say?
So, skimming the pages, you notice a few things with the book. You can read it. It seems to be in trade tongue. Some parts of it seem to be encoded, though, in some kind of code. If you want to, you can take time to decode it, but you can read some of it either way. It seems to be the journal of someone known as Volca, which I will put in chat, and it details experiments that she's been doing. So the parts...
arms?
Yes, basically. So the part
just focuses on arm experiments.
Yeah,
he's trying to raise an army.
So the parts you like skimming through it, the parts of it you read that are not encoded. So Volca and her brother Rovan grew up orphans in this district of called the Hollow. She discovered her talent for flesh grafting early, and it provided an additional source of income from pickpocketing. Flesh grafting is like not seen necessarily as taboo as we might in the real world. Like it's seen as like weird and strange, but not necessarily as horrifying as we might think it to be. People can, grow and graft replacement limbs, organs. Some of them are worse, some of them are better than the natural ones people would be born with. It's kind of like seen like biological cybernetics, basically.
I get the point.
With some of the ink that they use, they managed to make it so rejection seems to be less of a thing. She details 4 experiments in her journal. Experiment 1 was born of necessity. In Volca's adolescence, her brother Rowan was brutally beaten and left for dead by the Dust Cloaks. These are like the volunteer militia guards of the city. She miraculously managed to graft his organs into a body she cobbled together while retaining his consciousness the entire time. Well, probably he was unconscious, but came back to, like, he retains himself.
She put his brain into a new body, essentially.
All his organs, apparently.
Oh, okay.
What about the skin? Is that in there too?
Experiment 2 was less successful. Being composed of a mishmash of body parts of various beggars and transients, Volca opportunistically harvested over the years. Experiments 3 and 4, says here, are Tyrum and Elit Velm. Jordan, you know these are the assassins you've been sent to look for. Twin prodigies who are being groomed to assume the role of House Velm's head assassins. She kidnapped them to test the hypothesis that a strong emotional bond is needed to maintain a stable identity through the grafting process. They were far more successful than Experiment 2, retaining their personalities and even some of their prior skills like assassination training and House Velm tap code. This is probably something that you know, Jordan.
Okay.
But she does say that flaws remain. She knows she's being hunted by House Velm and is hiding here because of it. There is more to this journal that isn't coded.
So we have assassins waiting in here for us.
We also have a weird
though
body horror monster.
Whoever set up that very pitiful trap was definitely not the assassins. That was definitely Velm, because there's no way an assassin would put that together.
Yeah.
Well, the old guy is like a talking mushroom by now, right? Like, we're certain.
He's probably not alive. No. I mean, we'll still get paid if we can bring him back or figure out what's up with him. But
yeah.
Technically, it was rescue him. He doesn't have to be in the same state he was before. You could argue that with the people who gave you the quest.
We could drag back a mushroom blob of a man.
Yeah, we drag back the guy if he has no arms and legs. We drag 1 or 2 arms and legs from these smattering of limbs.
Yeah,
and
we say figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so up here's a door.
Up there is a closed door. Hallway. Down there is a hallway. Yep, a tunnel that continues.
There was talking down there, so let's go north again.
Yeah, okay.
If we peek down the south hallway, can we see anything more without leaving the room?
Yeah, if you bring your torch to the end, you can see the hallway doesn't join up with the room you entered before. It actually goes off to the left.
Oh.
Like the left from your perspective looking down.
Yeah.
I think I would rather clear the door behind us and then move forward.
Okay, there's a few other things you notice as you're in the room. There's a hole in the room here. Crudely dug, hole downwards that looks like it's another very familiar now looking tunnel. And as you approach the door to the north, you hear a low thumping sound. Repetitive.
Does it sound mechanical?
Rhythmic. Make an archives check.
Okay.
As we're debating the thing, I let the other two know that I have a way both through the door and down through the hole with climbing gear.
It's too muffled for you to recognize it.
Can I attempt to pick the lock? If it's locked, I'll try. I'll try to open the door.
You jiggle the handle.
Yeah,
I jiggle the handle.
It's unlocked. You open it, I assume?
Yeah, I want to stealth peek in.
Okay, opening the door and peeking in. You can't see much because you don't have dark vision unless you're holding a torch in. It's stealth or seeing. Pick your choice. I will say the sound gets a lot. The sound gets a lot clearer. Is there anything you smell or otherwise hear? It's a very strong, clear rhythm. You hear the occasional bit of steam as part of the rhythm, but it's metallic and organic, and some sort of steam thing. It sounds you hear pumping liquid. It's like this combination of sounds that all together act in a rhythm. You don't smell anything that you don't already smell from this room, the amniotic fluid, ammonia smell from the room you're already in doesn't change or yeah.
Let's see what this creepy machine is.
Should you open the door?
Yeah, I just opened the door.
Okay. Inside is a large metallic heart-like machine.
Oh God, kill it.
It's a large beating metal heart. It pumps clear liquid via 4 tubes to 4 glass vats containing twitching shapes.
Gross.
Yummy.
Yep.
Do we see anything in the room that looks like it is immediately going to hurt us?
Make a thing. I think archives still seems like the closest thing to perception I can tell. Based on that.
Learning that archive is the skill to buff.
Archive is the skill of knowledge, and from what I can tell, I think it's perception. Please let me know if it's not.
Spirit is also a...
Because, yeah, Archives is feeling pretty strong, and I'm not sure if I'm actually choosing the right thing as I'm looking through that. Spirit is intuition and mental endurance, read intentions. It doesn't feel like it's the same as perception, though.
You can
But
vibe check
Archive
a
is
room with
insight.
Spirit.
Anyhow, I definitely failed.
Okay, either way, yeah, maybe it's very intentional there isn't a perception, like you just see what you see until you do it.
I think there is intentionally not perception.
Cool, then I'm not going
I think you're right.
have you roll for perception in the future. Cool. So looking around inside, it's hard to tell exactly, like, the Vatson machine is large, and the things inside are moving. It seems, even from your torch, there's, like, casting long shadows behind it. The room seems mostly clear, but until you, like,
machine...
go around it, you won't be able to see very easily.
Is the heart machine original to this construction, or is this a new addition?
This doesn't fit with the rest of this.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like some kind of machine that has been brought in since. Pretty, like, something needs to be operating it, probably. It looks very mechanical. It probably has some kind of fuel.
Can we...
You think we can kill it?
I want to see what it's run by.
Do you want to go up and inspect it, or do you just want to, like, figure out what you might know about it based on your background?
I'm just going to go up and inspect it, because it doesn't look like there's anything in this room.
Okay. Is that good with everyone else?
I'm standing by the door.
I'm watching him walk into the room and inspect it.
So you can go up and
make my
inspect
decision
it.
afterwards.
I think you have enough, like, experience with this that you can tell that this thing is probably powered by Elder Ink. So if you want to deactivate it, you could just, like, remove the fuel from it, and that would be money.
Yeah, I want to.
So
drink their
you go up and
milkshake.
you're like, okay, yeah, this is how this is working. Before you learn more information about how to do that or things like that, something jumps out that was specifically hiding behind the vats.
It's just, like, hiding back there.
Yeah. Yep.
Like in the heart room or in the vat room?
In the there's vats in both rooms. In the heart room, the 4
heart
vats
room,
in there. You see this large, multi-limbed, flesh golem creature.
Does it look like it can hold?
You realize why I was able to hide.
Organs.
It looked kind of like the mutated arms. Now that you can see it, it does kind of look like some of the organs.
Familiar to any of the people that we may know
that we might have described in the book either?
They aren't clearly described in the book. She just, like, there's a journal to herself more than anything else. So she doesn't mention too many things. Not
more
specifically familiar to
do we know if they look like one of the assassins or the guy we're sent to be looking for?
The assassins are, like, teenagers, and they're pretty thin. This might be like, the brother. This thing is a large thing filled with, like, bone spurs that, like, line its arms and protrude from various other places on its body. It immediately, like, attacks, as, like, it jumps out to attack. It seems automatically hostile.
All right, so surprise round.
Cool.
Surprise round is a thing.
Yes. And spike the door shut.
Now, may I have a talent in stealth.
Marissa.
So can I?
Oh, yes.
It was in stealthing.
Marissa, you were specifically watching for enemy. Actually, no. Jordan, you were surprised. Everyone else was, like, intentionally watching in case something like this happened, so I allow the other two of you a speed roll.
Okay. Oh, right. There's a macro for that.
There is now a macro for that.
I don't know that I will be using my weapon. It kind of depends on what happens. Should I then just roll the lower speed and see?
Yeah, sure.
Well,
You're good either way.
To go first anyway.
So, Marissa, you go first, then it goes, and then I'll check with surprise. But either way, Marissa, what do you do?
Am I able to run in, attack it, tell Jordan to get out, and then use the other zone of movement to get out myself?
What does your talent exactly say?
The talent exactly says ... When moving during combat, you may move up to 2 zones instead of 1.
Yep, I would say yes. You can do that. You'll risk an attack from it since you're not using an action to disengage. But yes.
Okay, then I will do that.
Yeah.
We'll start by...
This room is small enough that I think I'm going to divide it into 2 zones. There's going to be one that's going to be, like, behind the vat, since that's kind of covered in its own thing. It's going to be, like, behind this whole heart. One in front of it.
I'm assuming that this is like
you're both still in
zones.
Yeah, you're still inside the same zone as Jordan, I think, just on the other side of it, but you can still get to it in one move and then move out.
All right. Then I will get to it, and we'll just see if I actually hit the thing first, I think. Oh wait, it is always auto hit, so it's how much damage do I do? Yeah, okay. 5.
I think I know how stealth is supposed to work. I think I might need in the future. I'll need to roll stealth for the enemies because they will roll for their skill. Interesting. 5 damage is dealt to it. Nice. You hit it hard and hit it like fast. What does it look like as you attack this thing? With your spear?
I'm intentionally going for the body, the easiest place to move out of the way. I'm not as focused on my stab as I would be. I'm more focused on, get out of the room, we can shut the door behind us, then we don't have to deal with it as we spike it shut, leave. And after I do a quick stab, like not focusing on it, I'm booking it back again.
Yeah, so all 3 of you are in this zone by itself. You're about to be leaving it to a further away.
No, because both Indigo and I were standing outside in this door.
It is in the far zone in the back.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. In which case,
what I was saying was you are standing in the close end of the door. If you want to be able to melee with it, that's where you're starting.
So right now it can't reach either of us
unless it moves first. It'll hit Jordan.
Can one hold an action?
I don't think so.
Nope.
Do you want to throw your spear?
I can give up on... See, the big problem is if I throw my spear, there's no way to get it back because we don't have any backup weapons, and there's nothing to do without a weapon. Terrifying.
You did only bring a spear.
I mean, I can't buy more than one weapon.
I didn't do much better. We're all very, very poor. None of us can afford anything else. So
it's up to you. Do you want to throw the spear and get away more easily? Or get away less easily by being closer to it to hit it in melee? And just dash in and out.
You can't punch it. You can throw a spear and then punch the horrifying monster.
Is punching even a thing?
Yep.
Yeah, it's under...
It's not good.
It's like a D4 but can't crit, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So it's not actually not bad.
Dude, I should just punch shit. The speed is agility, and it's just basically good for me.
Yeah, martial arts mage. Just, yeah.
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 You gotta make the sound every time or it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's a spell.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It does sonic damage from your
big
martial arts cries.
You see, my guy is like Yoda, where he looks all frail, and then he goes,
All right, I'll just go with what your original understanding of where we were, and what I intentionally described of running there and
running up, attacking it, running back. Okay, it's gonna. Please make an agility check, or else you will take an attack of opportunity. What's your agility? Is that a success?
I'm pretty sure it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, then you're good. That's your turn. Then it's gonna go. So it's gonna rush into the same zone as the 3 of you are. It rushes towards Jordan, but instead of let me check something. What does that mean?
I don't like that.
Hold on. Deals damage to all creatures inside a zone. Okay, so it doesn't have to rush forward. It stays where it is and points like it raises both of its arms covered in bone spurs and shoots a barrage at them, at all of you.
I really don't like this.
Can each
You're
of
supposed
you
to kill Jordan?
Can each of you roll a d4 and take that much damage?
Can I dodge? There's no dodge, is there?
If you spend an action, which you haven't been able to yet, you can make attack rolls at disadvantage. So it'll be damaged with the lower damage roll. Okay, Jordan, you take 1 damage.
Because I'm blocked by the machine.
Yes.
I take 3.
You
I take
4.
I would like to spend grit. I grit my
Roll a
teeth
d6.
through this.
Yeah, the bone spurs hit into you, but you only take 1 damage.
I take 1 damage.
Then it's going to move into the same zone as the 3 of you, and then its turn.
Rat it.
Yeah.
I would like
It still
to
took the 5
slap
damage you dealt it. Okay.
I would like to slap it back.
What do you do? Like,
Hit it with my glaive.
okay, roll
I got one
damage.
thing.
5 damage. It goes down. Finally,
Yay.
shrieking.
Yay.
So shrieking and screaming. It turns out this thing shrieks at you as it shot at you, and it goes down though. Finally,
I yell back and then cut it in half.
yeah, it collapses, smells terrible, and stops moving.
Well, thanks, guys. That was real scary.
You just walked into the room. You didn't want to.
I didn't see anything. I didn't expect this thing to fucking
you
hide
look?
behind us. Yeah, I looked.
Just because you didn't see anything doesn't mean there's nothing trying to kill you. We could have just shut the room and moved forward.
Yeah, but do you
But
know
how about
what? You know what
it's-
powers this thing?
What?
Money?
Money.
All right, I'll go get the
You
money.
have my attention.
I take out my siphoning hose and go.
Yeah, we would like to disassemble the beating heart.
All right. With a bit more, you can, like, you know enough about this that now that you're inspecting it, you can pick out a few things. One of the arms in the vat, most of these are not useful. They're not fully grown enough that they could be useful. But if you ever lose an arm, one of these is fully grown if you ever need a spare arm. Or, an extra arm. You don't need to replace an old arm. You can just get a new arm if you want.
If you get an extra arm, do you get an extra arm slot?
Let me
You
check.
better.
There are rules for that. Hold on.
You better. I want to be able to hold a sword and a shield on the same side of my body.
Two-handed weapons suddenly are not so bad.
Sword and shield on the same arm. Not the other arm there.
That'd be really useful for me because I have my inhaler, and then I could do two-handed weapons instead.
So I'm assuming that
well-
ink tech might be useful in taking this machine apart.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm
How-
going to
how
say
much-
yes. I'm going to say yes.
If it's powered by ink tech.
Well,
is
yes
powered
to the
by
third
ink.
arm. Or
Yes to the third
ink
arm.
tech? Go.
So if you want to, you'd have to like take this to a surgeon and like say, "Hey,
Oh.
give me this on my back or something."
Yeah. Can
We
I
need a-
can I
we
put
need a
that in my
surgeon?
backpack?
You
Will it stay fresh?
you need to go ask a flesh grafter. Let me double check that. I think it'll stay fresh for like a day. So you can do it right when you're done
So
here.
when we find the boss of the dungeon, you can ask her to attach it. instead
Yeah.
of
Hey, we've been
killing
looking
her.
for you. We got a recommendation.
Yeah.
So we should probably wait. We should leave it in the fridge until.
That's fair.
Okay.
That seems
If you depower the heart, it will also stop keeping them fresh. Just a heads up.
Meaning, do we need the ink
after a
right now,
day.
or do we come back for it?
The ink.
Come back
So
later?
the current heart. You also learned this. It uses up about 20 drops per week of ink. It has 6, so it doesn't actually have that much left in it. It has that would be like 2 or 3
2
days.
drops each.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think we
6 drops is 6 drops. Do you know how drunk you can get for 6 drops?
Yeah, 1 drop of ink is roughly a day's wage for a normal person, an ordinary worker, like laborer.
Every little bit helps
most
a
normal
revolution.
food and drink is actually not measured in drops because drops are too valuable. They're measured in like other types of currency that you can trade your drops for that are roughly like a tenth of a drop or something.
Okay. If you can I siphon 4 out for them and then leave my 2 in there?
Sure. So we each get 2, except yeah. The Indigo and
I'll get
Mercenary
mine
each get
later.
2. Okay. Cool. What now?
South?
Well, I guess we gotta go south.
There's also the hole that seems to lead into another kind of tunnel.
I
Yeah.
am interested in going to the hole because if we're worried about leaving things behind us,
It's true.
that's
Can we block
interesting.
the hole with the vats?
You have to be a
Yeah?
bit careful with it, but I don't see
What
why
about the
not.
flesh body? I'm gonna roll the flesh
Roll the
body
Oh
over
yes, the
the.
flesh body will basically fit in the hole perfectly.
Yeah,
Nice.
I would like to
Perfectly.
shove
Let's
the
do
flesh
that.
body, plug the hole with the flesh body.
Perfect. Okay, the hole is plugged. Carefully proceeding down the cell hallway.
Stealth.
You stop right after you turn the corner, as the floor, and it looks like the room ahead of you seems to be covered in there's these marks on the ground. Seems to be some kind of like dark, almost blood, dark red to the point where it's almost brown, colored like moss or mold. Seems to be on the ground, on the walls, all over the room ahead.
Can we set it on fire without getting close?
How do you want to try that? You have a torch. You can throw it at it and see what happens.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I don't feel like
No.
throwing it's a good idea. I've got a bit of rope. I've got a spear. I'd like to tie the torch to the end of the spear and then just kind of like poke the spear at the moss to see if I can't, fire it.
Wait, we're trying to light the moss on fire?
Yeah, I do not like it.
I think it's a better idea to actually do the opposite and use your spear to cut a little bit of the moss away from the rest of it and scrape it towards us to see how it burns before we commit to lighting the whole room of moss on fire.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds like a good idea, and I will follow that bit of advice.
Okay, perfect. You're doing it from the end of your spear, and it's a small amount, so you don't get harmed. As there's from the chunk of thing, as you get your torch tied spear close to the small bit of moss, probably in a corner.
No longer torch tied, but yes.
Yeah, we got it.
Oh,
we're doing it safely from a distance. We're doing it the once we're not touching it.
The spear's scraping the moss
toward you
to test how it burns.
How are you setting it?
We don't have any fire at it yet.
From a safe distance.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. From a safe distance away from the moss as well. Like a spear's length away would we light it too.
Okay.
So we're scratching okay, let's have a few centimeters separated all from the rest. Okay, it's close to us now. Let's back up away from that and then light it.
Okay. There's as you scrape the moss away, the general clump of within a few inches of it, all of the moss has like a hissing sound and deflates slightly, and you smell what can only be described as the smell of a very mild fart.
Fart grass.
Fart moss.
Oh.
All right. I think still backing up a little bit, so here in the corridor now, see what happens when we light the very small amount of moss that we put over here.
Okay. There's a pop when the fire approaches it. As the fire explodes, and a small enough pop that it doesn't harm you. And then
I figured the trap out.
Yeah.
I know what this trap is. If I take this, I hold up the torch, and walk into that room, we all die.
What happens if we throw it into the room and run?
Well, how about counterpoint? We throw it in the room and run. You're right. We run the other way.
Yeah.
Is there any way I can Is there anything back here that is flammable? Like back in any of these rooms?
The book.
Oh yeah, better idea.
The book.
The very expensive book.
Okay. Okay. Is there any of the
Any of the
pages of the
corpses
book?
wearing clothing?
Oh, yeah.
No. Go
Yeah,
grab the incense. Go grab the burning incense and
No,
chuck it like a frisbee.
So my idea is to have something to wrap a stone in that we could set on fire and I could chuck in the room.
Yeah,
Then
go
yeah, I
get
would
the
say
burning incense and sling it like a frisbee into the room.
I think we do
'Cause
want the
it's a
burning
plate.
incense to make the corpses not rise, but the corpses might be wearing clothes that we could wrap around a rock.
Oh, corpse clothes too.
Yeah.
Do you want
Brave Rob?
Yeah, you could look
Yeah,
for.
just-
I don't
I
think
don't
it's.
think.
Respectfully ask for their clothing, assume assent unless they do anything horrendously
Say
obvious
nothing
of
if
no.
you are willing to lend me your clothing. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
you
are
could
cleansing this
all of
place
these,
of
all of the
intruders.
corpses in the back, like in this room, would have been buried with some kind of like wrapping cloth of some
Yeah.
kind. So you can take like a burial shroud.
Is that what all of these arms are made of?
Probably.
Maybe.
The corpse.
Yeah. So I take the burial shroud, wrap it around a rock. I'll look to the to Panucci and say, "Can you light this on fire?" And I could just huck it.
Yeah, sure. Light on fire in your hands when you're not very close to our destination.
Oh, I run and then go.
So you got a hot
Run around the
potato hit.
Yeah.
As we know we're doing this, I'm starting as far.
Yeah,
like,
you're all being
Yeah,
like.
I'm not throwing it and staying brooms away.
Like I'm throwing it from here, and then as soon as it leaves my sling, I'm running around
Yeah.
the corner.
So what you fear happens, which would be like zooming out to the entire map of the city and then just seeing like a poof with a poof of smoke. No, the explosion isn't that bad. Luckily, it's not like C4 or something like that.
It's not like a nuke went
No.
off.
But you do see like a series of like woof as the entire flame engulfs the entire room, setting it ablaze. You there's a flash of heat behind you as you like see it does. The flames probably come out all the way to like the part of the room with vats in it a bit.
I'm sure it comes out there, but it only hurts in the one next to it.
Yes. Yeah. But you all, after probably several seconds as this happens, the heat starts to die down, and it gets it clears. It was like an explosion, but it wasn't packed. There were probably multiple places for the expanding gas to go. Hopefully that helped. Okay. If any gas buildup has now been cleared, you peek back around the corner and the moss is all still there. It appears to be fireproof. But the gas it expelled is gone.
So we gotta go fast.
Let's go fast.
Yeah.
Let's run to the corner.
Okay. Peering around the room.
A run to here?
Oh, that
or to the corner.
Yeah, which
right. Here or here?
Yeah, whatever.
Let's run to here while we can.
You seem good right now with your torch. So there's a few things.
The torch is held out in front of us. Just gotta like step by step.
Yes. There's a few things. There's a closed door to the whole place is still covered in moss. You can probably tell from some of the shaping that like there's more interred bodies underneath the moss, by the way. Closed door here. Rock collapse here. Door to the north.
Open door?
Doorway, yeah. Open hallway.
Doorway.
Open hallway to the north.
Any sign of monsters?
I was just double checking. You cannot. The rocks in the way of the hallway are fully blocking the hallway. It seems impassable without some serious work excavating it.
Does
doesn't
the
seem like anyone
moss
else is
seem
in here.
as thick in every direction?
As
a very quick look,
you're quickly looking around, bringing the torch. Cool. The moss peters out.
Around as I...
The only open you're opening the door to check?
I am heading towards this door to see if it is locked. I'm not opening it, but I'm just, as I cross the room, wondering, is the moss thinner anywhere?
The moss is thinner to the north as it thins out.
Okay.
Everywhere else seems to be fairly covered in it that you can see. I think the door here, as you check it covertly, is also locked.
Okay.
Lockpicker north, I yell back.
Lockpick.
Pick it.
All right. Do you have it? You have tools that help with that?
Yes, I have lockpicks, I'm pretty sure. As I've closed my character. That's helpful. 1 second. Yes, I have lockpick as a tool.
Okay.
And I have traps. I don't have lockpicking as talent, but
that's fine. You can spend a use from your thing to get lockpicks. That will give you. I think it'll let you make the roll rather than give you advantage in this case. You can't really lockpick without lockpicks.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you can. You can totally lockpick without lockpicks.
Can you?
Bobby pin, butter knife, credit card.
Okay, do you have any of
the door with a butter knife?
Okay, spend a use from your thing. The use is still significant. Get advantage.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2d10.
6, is that low enough?
What am I rolling under in this case?
Let me double check. It's probably agility.
I'm still gonna go with no. That's not low enough for anything I've got.
Yeah, because it's a D4 each, unless you got +2 agility and rolled a 4 in it. Okay.
I'd basically yell back, we can't get in, north it is.
All right, to the north.
All right, cool. Going to the north. Here we are. Let me double check one quick thing. Yep, okay, that's fine. There's another door. I will just tell you now it's not locked.
I'd say getting away from the moss is imperative at this point. Open and through.
Yeah.
Inside, yeah, okay. Inside, you see several. Hold on. Inside, you come in through the moss, get out of the door. You see several things.
Oh.
I don't like what's in this room. I'm gonna say no to this room. This is a bad room.
Mr. Krabs.
We picked the wrong room.
So, inside are many things.
There's a lot going on in this room.
3 stone sarcophagi illuminated by the soft teal light of a lumen pod lantern.
Oh, thank God. I know how we're getting to the other rooms.
A pale gray torso rests atop the northern sarcophagus. With tubes running from its open chest cavity. Some kind of abomination-looking creature, maybe inanimate, hopefully inanimate, maybe not, lies on the central sarcophagus, horrifying looking. And the southern one is a makeshift table filled with surgical tools and chemical-filled glassware. The room is not empty. So a few things you see. There's a bedroll with stuff in it. There's piled crates in the corner here. And you see 3 creatures inside. One is a short, stout woman with dirty robes and tired, intense eyes. You see a large, bigger than the previous one, flesh golem abomination thing covered in armored plates and the occasional spike. This one does not seem to have a head, but instead several eyes out of its large muscular torso. And the third creature is some kind of monkey that was sweeping up and cleaning up a corner of the room. As it looks at you though, its eyes are no other monkey you've seen. They are completely black with no pupils or features. I'm going to roll reaction roll.
Where is the lantern located?
Let me double check that.
Oh, dog, don't break the lantern.
Oh, I'm not thinking about breaking the lantern. I'm thinking of grabbing it and leaving without a source of flame. Let them deal with it.
You're going to abandon
I think
us?
it's this circle here, so it's not that far
No.
in the center of the room. The lantern is this circle on the map. They're friendly.
Yay!
Every reaction roll so far has been friendly. So they're not actively friendly, but instead they you hear a voice, the woman. The abomination like stands in a corner menacingly, but like and it looks at you with its like 7 or something eyes that seem to be haphazardly placed along its torso. It sees you, doesn't seem to say anything or do anything. You're not sure if it's capable of speaking. The monkey looks at you and looks scared, and the woman looks at you and says, hello? What are you doing in my laboratory?
Well,
we're sorry for barging in so quickly. We just wanted to get away from the moss before it exploded. We would have been much more polite had we known there were people here.
You must be the one known as Volca.
Yes, you've heard of me then. She looks like concerned, but she doesn't. She's like slowly walks, not really towards you. She was working on in the center table, like working on the abomination thing there, and she like slowly, while you're talking, like walks over to her desk and like puts her tools down. What are you doing here?
Your flesh crafting is superb.
I'm not
think we may
exactly
have
advertising my
Ignore him.
services.
We're looking for the old man who sweeps up around here.
She like looks at the other 2 entities in the room and looks at you and says, I don't suppose you'd believe me if I said I never saw him.
I look at the other 2. Do we...
They, like, the monkey is, like, staring at you pretty, like...
No, I mean my 2 companions.
Oh, the other 2 companions, okay.
To get their reaction on that statement. What's the... That seem true?
Let me see.
Can we do an insight check on that?
Yeah, that's spirit, right?
Yeah, totally. I think it might be masks, actually.
Oh.
For reading people. I'm going to double check. It might be spirit. Intuition.
Either way,
read
vibe
a creature's
checker.
intentions. Read a creature's intentions.
You're right. It is spirit.
Specifically.
Now, I have a talent in politics, and people lie in politics all the time, so can I get advantage?
In this case, yes.
Excellent.
So vibe check.
That's a
I
9 is a
my
no.
vibe check.
So I need under a 2.
That's a no.
You only have a 2? You're gonna try with the 2?
2 with advantage.
I have a 2 in spirit. Yeah, with advantage.
Indigo, are you gonna try to do the same thing?
My spirit's 1.
10% chance.
You never know. I've taken shots in XCOM with less of a chance.
Have you hit with them?
You miss 100% of the shots.
That's true. Okay. Assuming Indigo isn't rolling.
I just messed up the roll. I typed /1 instead of /R.
That's not a success.
No.
That's not a success. Okay,
No,
so
look it up for a vibe check. I respond with, well, we don't really know one way or the other, but oh, drat it, I forgot what I was going to say, so onwards.
Not really, it seems. We're unclear. None of us really like body parts.
Yeah.
So we don't know. Please return to us the old man.
I'm gonna start, it's gonna look like impatiently tapping, but I'm gonna be tapping in that code you said I know.
Okay. Yeah.
Ooh, assassin code.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get if the monkey is in fact 2 teenage assassins shoved into a monkey's body. We may have an ally.
Are you trying to say anything in particular?
I'm just like basically tapping like friend, help, friend, help.
Okay. She like looks at you doing that and it like okay, and looks at the other two, and I think she says, she sighs and she says, he's over here, follow me.
Oh, that's easy enough.
So as she moves, the abomination seems to like shadow her and follow her around.
I ask, do you mind if I pick up and bring the lantern with us?
Keep it here. I need it for my work.
Okay, I ask what she's, using to illuminate the light, but sure.
Oh, lumen pods are like pretty. They're like expensive,
so she's got
but
some real ones here.
Yeah. She basically has the equivalent of, I don't think it's ever burning, but she has a flameless light basically. Yeah.
Okay.
She leads you to the door to the south. She takes out a key out of her. She has like a bloody ink. I don't know if it's ink stain, but like a bloody and like smeared
stained apron.
Stained apron. Reaches under it. Takes out a key. Unlocks the door. Opens it. Through here, you can see a room that seems to be have a bunch of I believe it's domes in the center. Nope, pits dug into the floor. The room itself is a domed room with pits dug into the floor. As you peer inside, I think that's all you can see right now, more easily. But oops, there we go. So that doesn't interesting. The one you see 4 pits, with a 5th one in the very center that is covered with a heavy stone slab. She says, if you can, he's insensate. If you can, like, she directs you and points from where she's standing over to the covered slab. Says, he's in the central pit there. Something's wrong with him.
Do you mind leading the way? I know that I'm not strong enough to move that slab, and I will straight up like gesture at noodle arms.
Yeah, 3 of you together. She like says 3 of you together probably are. I need to get back to my work.
Perhaps we could borrow your muscular friend.
You mean
as we gesture at our companions, noodle arms, because I don't have a body higher than 1, and I'm not sure anyone else really does.
My body is 2.
Oh, I got 4. I got librarian muscles. I lift Electrum slabs.
It's under your robes. You like you like look at your like rippling biceps underneath your library robes and like cover them up.
Yeah. I'm less than 5. I'm less than average.
Less than average.
I have normal person.
No, average. 5 is not average. It's a D4, so like 2 is average.
Okay. Well, I'm strong. I'm athletic.
Maybe 3 is average. Yeah.
I'm not strong enough. Well, it's strength 5 to wield a maul. So I'm not strong enough for the.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not strong enough for high strength weapons, but also I'm not a baby, so I will attempt to push the rock.
I was asking.
I still want to ask for help from the flesh golem.
Yeah, because then we could throw it in a hole.
Specifically to get the flesh golem by us.
Make a masks check. She's friendly enough that you can try to persuade her to like.
What's your mask, Marissa?
4.
Oh, okay. I have mask of 3, but I also have talent in politics.
Can we both make the thing? We're both seem to be on the same
wavelength. This time, how do you make it like political to persuade her?
I will donate to your campaign.
No. If you're making it political, you leverage the embalming guild.
Oh yeah.
You talk up the
You
importance of the old man.
you you say you're not you know doing
Everyone's looking
advertising
for
your.
him. He's yeah. Okay.
I was gonna say something like you say you're not advertising your services, but you should really join the Embalming Guild. You're like way above what they are.
Okay.
Try to brown nose her.
Yeah.
Can
I
Mercer and
will
I
allow
both make
that.
the roll?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can we both?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Beautiful.
That's a
Nope.
no.
On my part.
2d10. Nope.
That's a no. All right. She says, "You want him so bad? He's right there. I have work to do." And she just starts to walk back to her table with the flesh golem following her. The monkey creature has been staying back here and watching you all carefully and has calmed down a bit from being frozen like lots of animals are when you notice them. It starts sweeping while mostly looking at you again.
Well, we've been given permission to get the person that
Doors
we think
unlocked.
we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And open.
Let's get the guy we need, I guess. Kind of carefully watching around, but not making any threatening moves and doing the thing we said we would do.
Yeah. I'll try to push the stone. I do not.
Let me check the stone. So as you approach, you start hearing muffled obscenities from a man's voice inside the center stone. So it's yelling at you as you approach, as your footsteps are heard.
We're here to get you out and bring you back to the Embalmers Guild. Please stop yelling at us.
There's a pause, and then so you don't actually need a roll to move the stone. It's just going to take effort and time.
Okay.
So you start moving it by a few inches, and it's very heavy. But now that you start to hear him properly halfway through this, as he says, "Oh, please, you have to rescue me. I've been held here against my will for days, maybe even weeks. What year is it?" Before you can answer, the flesh golem behind you steps into the doorway. It was waiting behind Volka in the room. You hear Volka from behind it say, "Sorry, but I can't let you leave. Not if you're with the assassins." I recognize that tapping.
What tapping? Who tapped?
I don't
know. From
Can we do a bluff check of what do you mean?
Oh,
tapping?
Jordan totally. Yeah, you can try to bluff check. I don't know if any of you except Jordan know what the tapping was. You're like, oh no, he's just fidgeting.
We don't.
Which means it's a bluff check with honesty.
You could you can try to persuade her. She is specifically trying not to get found out by who she thinks you are. So by default, you're gonna have disadvantage on this.
Mask charisma in this case.
All Spirit, I believe, is keeping a cool head in a tense situation. If we weren't lying, it would be mask.
You know what? I'm gonna stealth.
I'll let you do either. How you're just gonna hide?
Yeah, I want to we're in this room, right?
Yeah, you can just duck behind a wall because the flesh golem is specifically blocking your exit, basically.
Yeah.
I want to basically then for me put hands up and we weren't trying to do anything. I don't know what tapping you're talking about. We were just getting this guy out who you said we could.
Okay.
What can we do to defuse the situation?
So I'll wait to see. I'll ask for a hide roll probably in a sec, but the other two of you can try to talk her down. I think that. If you want to convince her that she must be mistaken, that's going to be a roll with disadvantage. If you want to convince her that that only Jordan, if you want to say we individually don't know anything about this, but like not try to remove her suspicions from Jordan's character, then you can make the roll normally without disadvantage.
That's what I did. No disadvantage, and I rolled a 5 out of 1, so I failed.
Yes, but
I want to do it with disadvantage.
Okay, none of us know. Okay. Do you have
None
anything
of us
that might
know.
help you?
So a 5
and a 4 is your best one. 4. Oh no, 5.
No,
Right. You are doing disadvantage. So yeah, it is a 5. It is a 5. What's your masks?
4. You asked if anything was helping, but this is, I think,
okay.
too late then.
Yep. So I think with that, she says, no. She says, like, stop lying. You all lie. And I think she says, brother, take them out. She's gonna help in the fight, but she's behind the big guy who's kind of blocking the doorway. Everybody roll speed.
Yeah.
She knows that you're there in general, but can't see you. You can still hide if you want to make a stealth roll. You won't have surprise, but you might have advantage on your first attack roll if they don't know exactly where you are.
Yeah, I wanna. You said it's like a dome.
The whole room is a dome. Yeah.
Okay.
With pits in it, you can jump in a pit.
There are pits.
No. I want to try and get because I want to try and use agility to climb up the side of the dome.
I like it
if I can.
Yeah.
And then
try
and set up a way for when the golem comes in, we just knock him in a hole.
Perfect. I'll draw some zones. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we see
especially
more
now
of the
that
room?
we're in the room, it would be good
now
to see
we're
more of it.
in the room.
You are in the room. There and there.
Oh, it is just a circle now, isn't it?
It is a domed room.
It's not
so
the most
she was
helpful.
standing by the doorway, and we at least were talking to her, so we're probably relatively close.
Yeah, I think this will be one. This will be another. Like in the center, the stone slab is there, but it's like you can jump on top of and stand on it. Like I think it's one you can fight in, and then separated like that.
That center is not 4 zones. It's one zone, the 4 for each.
Yeah, exactly.
So she's in the hallway, and then we're in this one.
I think you're either in that one or in the center one. Indigo, I think you were pushing the stone slab, so you're in the center.
Yeah, I'm in the middle.
I probably was going, towards her,
and Jordan, you were hiding. You're probably in the zone, but hidden.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, have you made the agility check yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, make it now.
I have, but
not speed. He was hiding while you guys were talking.
Oh, yeah.
I did it. My agility.
So you're hidden. You'll have advantage on your first attack.
Oh wait, I have advantage on stealth anyway. Crits aren't a thing, right?
Crits, as far as I'm aware, are not a thing.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
You have to roll speed though.
You don't have to roll speed to see when you go.
It'd be so funny if you go last.
Speed. I'm gonna use my my sling.
Sling.
All right, yeah, you go.
It doesn't help.
Yeah, it turns out that throwing a sling while you're hanging onto the side of a wall,
really
difficult.
Really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably good for us in this case because you wanted to use your.
No, they could just reach up and grab your leg and slam you on the ground.
Well, I'm hidden.
They won't see him at first. Maybe the second round. That might happen.
But if you use an action, aka use the sling that you rolled with, do you have to forcibly use it then?
You'd go last either way, but generally, I'd say probably. Marissa, you're the only one that succeeded. What do you do? The flesh golem is Volka herself is right behind the flesh golem. I would say that if I keep drawing, she's probably not in the same zone as you, especially with him blocking the door. She's probably oh, that's not a square.
If I chuck my spear into the flesh golem, have it lodge in the flesh golem, and the flesh golem comes toward me, can I take the spear out of the flesh golem to keep attacking later?
As an action, yes.
Okay, that's still probably better than nothing. I will throw my spear Volca? If we hit Volca and take her down, she probably won't go down with one hit. This flesh golem's armored.
This one's armored and like way bigger than the other one you've seen.
Yeah.
Now is when
I'm
we
going
should
to
cast
throw the spear at Volca.
the delicate pain
Okay, yeah.
make flesh to lace.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a ranged weapon. You can throw your spear at her. Roll damage.
Sure, I assume the ranged weapon does the one-handed damage, not two.
Yes.
Okay. Well.
All right. So she has a small amount of armor, which means that doesn't do any damage.
Armor?
Yep.
What do you mean she has armor?
Her apron isn't like a cloth apron. It's like a leather like. Yeah, it
I just say she's
scrapes.
better equipped.
It scrapes her. It scrapes her apron. It probably like actually hits her apron, but gets caught in it before actually piercing flesh, and falls to the ground in this zone.
Then I will spend. Oh, in that zone?
Yeah, I told you she was in this zone.
Oh, I thought she was still in the hallway. Okay,
Oh.
That's still fine. Good enough, I guess. I am going to spend my movement backing up to this door here.
All right, it's still locked, but yeah.
Yup, but at least I have the tools to work with it, and it's not like I have a weapon right now.
All right, they're all gonna
Where it is
go.
good.
Perfect. So firstly, Volca herself is going to grab. She looks very like unhappy with almost getting impaled. She grabs a vial from her table and is going to chuck it at. Well, Indigo's the only one she can see.
God dang it, why? I didn't do anything.
Wait, okay, so
You're just here to help an old man.
She's in this zone, and then she throws it 2 zones?
Ranged attacks.
3
Yeah.
zones?
I don't think ranged attacks have
Ranged
a range
attacks are
limit,
normally
do they?
one zone.
They do.
Do they?
Yeah, because some
I thought they
things
ignored
like
it.
let's
Nope,
see,
No.
it's one zone for a thrown weapon.
weapons.
Oh,
yeah,
is it
because,
just thrown weapons? Hold on.
Thrown weapons are specifically one zone, it says, yeah.
weapon can be thrown at a target in an adjacent zone.
Oh, okay. Bows can go any amount. I didn't realize throwing was
Yeah.
Okay, then in that case, she picks up a vial from her thing, and moves a zone over to get into. She goes into here now.
Does it take an action for her to pick it up? Or
Yes.
No?
Well, she pick up and throw it, but yeah, she's gonna just pick it up.
Picked it up and then moved. Okay.
And then moved. Flesh Golem is gonna move forward into this zone. And look menacingly, but it doesn't seem to have ranged attacks. So
Go.
that's it. The monkey in the distance gets closer. It looks like it will also be participating in the fight, despite how scared it is. It's not remotely close.
Can we add some zones for where it is, given that I'm likely to be trying to get into here?
Oh, are you? Okay.
Get my spear back.
It's gonna be like.
Wait, so
Here we go.
So the monkey's gonna go like this, and then you're gonna go like.
Yeah. Perfect. The monkey is only moved one zone over, so it's only in here from the top one.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
In combat, can I, like, for example, can I try to aim for, like, the golem's knee to make it wobbly and easier for Indigo to throw in a hole?
Yes. If you want to spend an action, you can basically try to give advantage to Indigo's action. You can also aim, which is a ranged attack option. I think it might be actually melee or ranged. If you do spend an action aiming, your next turn, you will ignore armor from your attack.
Oh.
So if you want to like aim your sling really hard, then you could try that to aim for a weak point.
Are we attacking the big monster?
I would be.
All right, I will attack the big monster. I'm a fighter. I'm better than you at this.
Okay, so you're moving into it's currently one zone away from you. You're moving into the
so.
same zone as it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leaving the old man's rock cracked a little bit.
He calls out like, "Hey, wait! Get back here! Let me out! What's happening?"
I ignore him. I step forward and I chop.
Okay, roll damage.
I will be spending a point of grit to focus
Okay, how does that
and
work?
I ignore armor.
Okay.
Ooh.
Nice. I like how different the classes do feel
7.
and that they have cool things.
So you deal 7 damage ignoring armor. Very nice. It's not dead yet. You chop into
This is
it.
my cool attack. It's
Yeah.
my power strike.
Yeah, it raises its arm. It's like a plated arm to block you, but around the elbow there's like missing plates between the upper and lower arm, and you chop into it. You probably like part of its arm like starts hanging off of it. Like it you deal some serious damage to it.
Do you want me to
but it's
double up
still
on the golem, or should I get in the face of the lady?
Can you do anything to the golem?
I mean, I could throw a rock.
1d4 means you're more likely to crit.
That's
Which
true.
would
Also,
ignore
when did I
armor,
take-
and you have advantage.
when did I-
So if
Well,
Oh
the
yeah,
last
and I have
time we-
advantage.
The last time he took damage was the explodey bone fragments, right?
yes, that's the last time
Yes.
any of you took damage.
All right. I'm just checking to make sure I put my health in correctly. I did not.
So you know what? I'm gonna try and hit. So I could try and hit the golem, and then can I move to her zone to get in her face?
Yeah, yes you can.
Okay, I'll do that.
So first you're attacking out of stealth at the golem, and then you're moving into her.
Yes.
Okay.
So I attack with advantage to roll 2d4 and take the highest.
Roll 2d4, keep the highest.
Each one. That's a crit.
That's a crit. So
Yes.
let me check
Another
for crits,
one?
but I'm pretty sure it's either. I think it might be flat double.
Let me see. Combat.
No, without bonuses, a crit just ignores damage. I think attacking. Roll maximum damage. It ignores target's AV and yeah, it ignores armor. Special effects will add extra damage if you're a fixer with backstab or stuff like that. By default, though, you deal 4 damage ignoring armor, which is still quite good.
Cool.
Considering the amount of armor this thing seems to have.
Yeah, that's anything less than a 4 wouldn't have dealt any damage.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, that's why I'm not attacking it.
So as you see, you're actually looking at it from behind, seeing it for the first time, really from behind. There's actually like lots of like vents, not necessarily of steam, but of like moist air coming out of its back. That seems to be how it breathes. You probably get your rock inside one of those from your sling.
I make it hard to breathe.
Yeah, it starts like doing a weird metallic choking sound. It's still up, but it's not having a good time.
And then I move to this zone to get in her face.
Yeah.
Are you spider monkeying it?
No, I hopped down because I'm still in this zone, right?
Well, then
So
you
I was
gotta
here,
yeah.
and I went to there.
Let me check.
Well, then you gotta roll agility.
Yeah, I can roll
to
agility.
avoid the free attack from Frankenstein.
1d10. I need under a 5. Ooh.
Okay. So yeah, no, he's gonna swing at you. He swings around wildly with both of his arms, even the one that's half hanging off of his elbow. He still seems to be swinging in a frenzy. You're going to take 12 damage.
Oh, you just exploded the mist, apparently.
Okay.
Oh, you might be dead.
All right, so you're either way, you're unconscious, and whoever checks on you can tell if you're dead or not.
Let me see here. Let me see. Where's the combat?
Roll harm and healing is what you want to look at. I would ask
on
you
death's door.
roll hidden. We'll see if you're dead or not when they go check your body. But yeah, it probably like just hits you and slams you against the wall as you were landing, and
okay,
like
so
you fall unconscious and like maybe have a
roll.
lot of internal bleeding. We'll see. Okay, we'll see if you're dead later.
We'll see.
Well, that was your turn.
Next round,
I did my job.
Yeah, we all went. So next round, can the 2 of you remaining please roll speed?
I'm rolling speed with the default 5 because I'm not using a spear that I don't have.
Huzzah!
You're good.
Huzzah!
You're good. Okay, what do the 2 of you do?
All right, who's saving the wizard?
You go first because depending on what you do depends on whether I attack or flee.
As a heads
I'll
up,
attack.
you have a whole 10 minutes to save the wizard. Like it's not it's not bleeding out. It's within the next turn. Turn meaning 10-minute dungeon turn, not like combat. Combats don't have turns. Combats in this game are only rounds. So you're fine.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you can leave him for later. He's fine.
He's good. He's fine. He can bleed out on the floor. I attack the monster.
Okay. Yep, you're still in the same zone as it.
Power attacking? Or
I don't know if you have
I'm out of grit points.
Okay.
I used one grit. I have 2
Come
grit
on.
points between rests. The first one saved my life from the explodey bone. The second one let me super chop him. I'm out of points.
okay.
4 damage. All right, you cleave at it, gouging into it, but I think as you probably like impale its chest, but you feel more than see that inside parts of it seem to be more metal. You don't know if it's a plate or some kind of mechanical part. It's more, but there's like hidden armor in the part you thought was unarmored. It's still up. It did take some damage, but not much.
It took a damage.
It took a singular damage.
Sometimes that's all that counts.
The fact that this thing has more than 12 hit points is patently unfair.
Do you do anything else, Indigo? Because you have a move.
I don't have anything else I can do. I'm not running and getting pasted like the last guy. Like, that was a bad idea.
I would like... Is the door locked from this side as well?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Then I'm going to try and pick the lock.
Let's use another item for advantage on the Thieves' Kit.
Sure, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Oh god, you're not helping me. You're just letting me die.
A 1, you get it. Perfect.
I am booking it out.
Okay, you can't... just a heads up, I don't think you have a light on you, so you can't see, but you have been in this room.
That's fine. We've been in the room.
Yeah. Where do you go?
2 zones away is 1, 2, staying right in the middle there.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
The golem looks at you, raises its arms, and deals 6 damage.
I'm dead.
Oh.
I'm dead. I'm down.
All right. Marissa? You hear, I think, as you flee, I think, are you staying in combat or are you running out fully?
I was still deciding where to go at that point.
You hear...
Both of my companions are very dead. I have...
It's because you didn't do anything!
The correct answer is out of here. I want to live. Thank you.
Okay, so you just leave. Perfect. Indigo, please roll to see if you survived the attack.
I think someone has to check on us.
I think 2 of those holes are getting filled.
Both of you technically survive. Marissa, so you flee. You flee. The other 2 of you survive. You do have to be treated. Volka is going to patch you up, and you wake up probably hours later in the same hole as the person.
As that guy.
As that guy.
I do plan on, coming back with a new weapon, but I'm reporting this with my life first. Thank you.
So let's see the scars system, as we'll see the state of you as you wake up. So can each of you please roll a d10?
So 2 of these scars are actually good.
Yes.
Interesting.
I don't believe so.
Oh, I got the good one.
Okay. So, a 3 for Indigo. Nervous twitch. You have disadvantage involving stealth or bluffing. You can't even help it. You just, your nervous system has been damaged.
Cool.
But, Jordan, you wake up spirit marked. You get you can feel it when spirits are near and gain +1 on checks when dealing with spirits. You're in a tomb. So you wake up. So both of you wake up hours later in pain, surrounded by darkness. It looks like you've been roughly patched up with sutures and like not like you're alive. You don't feel good, and you still have bandages, like have wounds. You can feel that there is a spirit somewhere in the tomb in general here.
Yeah,
and
I
I
shoot
think
open. I go. I can find an ally.
yeah, and your how to put this? Kabaro, the embalmer you're meant to find. You can't see him because it's pitch black, but you hear his voice say, well, that was some rescue attempt. And let's see, let's end the session there.
Yep. If only our cowardice fixer didn't betray us at the last moment.
I ran to get help. I'm coming back with a weapon
left
and
us
people.
both to bleed out in a room with a monster.
What was I supposed to do? Punch the monster that I can't hurt? No.
So,
try harder.
At the end of a session, go over the questions as a group and roll dice for each applicable question. So, did you find any treasure?
Yes.
But not more than 100 drops. So you get
Jesus, no.
So that answer is a D4. We're not going to roll that now. Did you complete a goal? No, you did not.
We found
the old man.
Information.
Your goal was to
man.
rescue him.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So
okay,
no.
Yeah, no.
Did you learn anything useful about the world?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
that's also a D4. Did you establish a meaningful relationship with a faction or NPC? Not yet. I don't think.
No.
Did any of your characters survive being on death's door? Yes.
Is that one each or just one?
So the way that works, you out of all they each
only
are
the highest.
Each of these are associated with a die size. Then you take the highest out of those die sizes. A single roll applies to the whole party equally. So who wants to roll the D6 that you got because of surviving being on death's door?
No, it's collective.
It's collective, isn't it? It's one person rolls it, and then everyone gains the same amount. Over the roll the dice for each applicable question. The highest result amongst these dice. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you roll a D6.
Yeah, we roll 1d6, 2d4, and the highest number out of those three is the amount of XP we all get.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So we roll them in the highest results. You're right. So roll a D6 plus 2d4. Who wants to make the roll?
I'll roll one of the D4.
Yeah, everyone can take one of those picks, a D4 or
I'll do a
the
D4.
D6. Okay,
I'll
do
the D6 then.
You died first, so
4, 2, 4. Okay, so everyone gets 4 XP because that's the highest result.
Okay.
You level up at 5 times your current level of XP. So everyone has 1 XP from leveling away. And the group may pick one player and name them MVP and for any reason, in or out of character, and they gain 1 XP. So who do you want to level up?
Look, I survived, and there was nothing I could do against that monster.
I vote no on the fixer. Hard no.
I'm coming back with help to actually solve the adventure while you guys are stuck in a pit. I made the smart decision here.
I choose the Vagabond because he gets advanced maneuvers at level 2.
Cool. I will take my level.
So 2 votes for Indigo, 1 vote by Marissa for herself. Okay.
Sure.
Indigo, you level up. You gain 2 HP. You increase one of your stats by 1 of your choice. Or you increase 2 of your stats by 1, separate ones.
We're doing the HP because I'm too squishy.
And then you get your normal level thing.
Which is just the Vagabond powers.
Your base attribute cannot be lower than 1 or higher than 8. Though some things may temporarily increase it from 8 to 9. And the max level in general is 8.
Okay.
The attributes do not include HP. That is a separate limit. I think it's like 16 or something. And that's it.
We rolled Archive a bunch, so Archive's getting leveled up.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Though, as I said, going forward, I'll probably roll it less and do stealth rolls for NPCs and stuff more in the future.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah.
And that.
Because I do think the perception from reading this book and getting the vibe after the dungeon they wrote, the perception is supposed to be stick your head in there. What do you see?
Yeah.
Like, did you perceive?
That is the Electrum archive. It does feel to me like what I hoped it would be. An OSR feeling that's brutal, but also fast.
The auto damage seems bad, but like really like the auto damage.
It's also like on your end too, because so
you just hit. Cool.
Yeah.
You're probably like
that.
this. I'm gonna tell you this right now because it's not gonna be true when you see him again. Because I think everyone's gonna be long resting to full HP. This thing had 2 HP left when you left.
No.
It was almost gone.
Within punching range.
Killed it.
No, because it has 3 armor.
It wasn't.
It was 3 armor, so it wasn't punchable.
So 5.
If I punched it, I wouldn't get through the armor because punches can't crit. If I had been lucky
if you
enough,
max
I made
full
a
damage, you might have done 1. You've had to punch it 2.
and it still would have put me into a paste.
Yep.
Oh, the Vagabond other feature.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking.
You took
at
out
the
half its
level up.
HP by ignoring its armor and hitting it.
The Vagabond other feature is trophies, or I could just like wear goblin ears, and then get 1d6 bonus damage on goblins or whatever.
Yep.
But the other thing I really liked, the only other game we've done zone combat in that I know of at least is Numenera. Zone combat in this game was way more interesting.
Yeah.
Numenera used range spans and didn't really build itself around it.
This zone instead of combat, because this is zone, not so much. This is zone instead of
range
squares,
bands,
instead of grid.
Yeah.
And I like mega grid way better because it means, like, you're right, half the room is a zone. That's good enough.
Yeah.
And just having you can hit one zone over with the thrown weapon made it feel like it mattered, which was kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah. It also makes your 2-zone running power way more powerful than you have
so
5
mobile.
Because the D&D thing is you have 5 extra speed. Okay, whatever.
Double.
Longbow is 20. Doesn't matter. But no, this is...
Yeah, it's how you got away, as well as it's why you survived, basically. Is that
it's the only reason you survived.
Yeah.
Because it would have killed you too. It would have pasted your 8 hit points as well.
Oh, my hit points weren't at 8. It was at 5. I could not take a hit from this thing, and I knew it.
Yeah.
Listen, technically, I took the most damage.
Yes. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
I took 12 damage.
Yeah.
1 hit, and you took more damage than the rest of us this entire game.
Yep. Maybe combined if you add everything out, but I don't think so. Almost, though.
I don't think so.
I'm just very impressed that both of you managed to survive that.
I mean, it's
I was planning on coming back with, your new party members.
New characters.
But yeah, this has a really good OSR feel of danger without being you walk in the front door and keel over. And also without I spend 10 turns trying to hit this thing because it has an AC 16 on a D20.
Yeah.
Speaking of teamwork and good powers, I'm taking Rally as my advanced maneuver, which is I spend grit to give allies +1 damage for the rest of the round.
Ooh.
Nice.
So I scream murder it, and then you all get better murder.
So
you spend 1 grit for 2 assured damage, essentially, if we're attacking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think then we'll pause it for now. Obviously, we're at the end of our time, but I think this will be a solid fallback game.
This is fun. I like this little game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go give this person money after this.
Please do.
For
totally
reference.
worth it. There's 2.
I was using the free rules. I'm gonna give them $5 or whatever their thing is because this game is great.
Yep. The second zine comes with 2 adventures, so we'll probably do a part 2 of this. Even with maybe the 4 of us, if we're like, we finished our previous campaign or something, or one of us isn't up for GMing, and we'll bring Zen in as our backup. Like, Zen, come help. Sneak in.
I come back from, the town with Zen.
Yeah. Sneak in, rescue the other guys. Maybe just leave. Maybe take her out, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a whole second adventure that's not a dungeon crawl. It's a different type of adventure. That I think is more like social and political for those of you who want that. And I just didn't want to dump us right into that for the first experience with the setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate being able to learn combat.
Mm-hmm.
Questions about leveling up, because if we're considering doing more of this, I always want to be clear. It does not go away. You don't spend XP to level up.
Oh, let me check that.
Oh, it's accumulated. Cool.
It does say that on advancement?
No.
Okay,
Sorry,
advancement.
they may spend them. I was wrong.
Yeah, it costs increasing amounts of XP as you level up, basically. If it costs 5,
So
then you
now
spend
I'm
it.
at
Then it's 10, then you spend it.
yeah. So now
Oh,
I'm at
that's gonna be
0
hard.
of 10 XP.
Correct. Okay, perfect.
Interesting. So this game does not expect you to level; it expects you to die.
Max level is 8. I think levels are strong, but unlike in some OSR games, you can't out-level the danger of the game. Like, that 12 damage at max level, again, I think your max HP is like, again, 16. So that 12 damage that thing would have hit you with, that could have taken out someone if they were wounded, even if they had max HP. Yeah. So, I like it. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Consider backup characters. They're not hard.
Nah, it's not hard. Like, backup character means I'm just going to Warlock, and then if the Warlock dies, then it's Fixer, and then back.
just cycle through them.
Just move down.
Keep doing Warlocks until you get a spell name you like the best, or that you could do
keep
that.
Doing Warlocks.
Keep going Warlocks till you get Blood Cleave or something.
Yeah.
You can just rip someone in
look
half.
for, like, okay, there's one that's fire and one that's ball. Look for those. All right.
Ball of murderous fire.
Yeah.
That's what you were looking for.
Okay. Then we should be back next week, unless we have more than one person unavailable.
Yeah. All right. Later.
Yeah.
Bye.
How do I... There we go.